We did it.
Okay, let's get started. Back to what I was saying. So you guys are all rolling death saving throws. No, I'm just kidding. Hello.
No.
Hello and welcome to Diversity Saves. I am Adam Gonzales. I'm going to be our wonderful GM for the day, I hope. And if this is your first time tuning in to Diversity Saves, they are a 501 nonprofit organization made up of passionate BIPOC, LGBTQIA, plus neurodivergent and disabled TTRPG creators. I did that in one breath. Actors and fans who wanted to create a means to amplify voices not only in the community, but in the works we consume across the industry. They are committed to promoting and uplifting marginalized communities in the tabletop role-playing industry, and with the funding from donors, seek to aid the community with grants for marginalized creators, provide TTRPG supplies and materials to educational and recreational centers to promote education and creative exploration, and uplift voices by providing a platform for underrepresented creators to promote diversity and inclusion. You can check them out at diversitysaves.org. To learn more, follow them on social media, join the growing Discord community, and donate. Yay! Come hang out with us. This is the stuff we do, and we're all pretty cool and good at it. And we're diverse, and nothing's better than that. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter our world. Uh, I'm gonna go ahead really quickly and pass around while I get ready to all of my players here, and you could introduce yourselves personally. We'll start with Heather.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Heather Silva, she, her pronouns. I am here to play in my first ever live stream event. So excited to be doing it with Diversity Saves. I am here also representing Worlds for All, which is where I run games with a very similar ethos as what Diversity Save stands for. So you can find us on all socials at worlds, the number 4 all. Thanks so much.
All right, and next up, we'll go ahead and go with Angie.
Hi everyone, my name is Angie Gone, a Gontheg on the internet. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me on the internet at a Gontheg. Typically, you can find me every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on Tales Archived for our ongoing D&D campaign, Known Realms Tolesh, which we will be playing our 83rd episode tomorrow. So come hang out. I know it's kind of hard to get into because 83 episodes of a D&D campaign is a lot. But we catch up people with some little character informations between our breaks. So come check us out.
All right, and I think it's my turn now. So hello, everybody. My name is Yuri. That is Y-U-R-I. You can find me at Yuri and the Beast absolutely everywhere. I'm really excited to be here at Diversity Saves. I love what they do, and it's my first time playing with them. As for me, you can find me at literally, like I said, everywhere. I collect games, I collect players, and platforms like Pokemon. So if you head over to my threads, you'll be able to see all of the stuff I'm doing and all of the games that I am a part of. I also just recently became a Tabletop Tale Spinners marketing director. So I'll be doing some of that, and you'll be able to see me more on that channel as well. And I'll go ahead and hand it back to our wonderful DM.
Amazing. Back to me really quickly again. I'm Adam Gonzales. You can find me all over the place. If you're looking for me, you could probably find me at Adam5GMs, and you can follow the stuff I do at 5GMs in a trench coat. We have a rotating table where different person GMs every time. It's a great time. We're very inclusive over there. I love what's going on over here. I love the inclusivity. I love seeing people that look and talk and act like me. And I love seeing people that don't look and talk and act like me. It's amazing. There's so many people everywhere. But so now let's go ahead and enter in to the large city of Halcyon. It is this large metropolis-esque city. The air is electric as cars and buses and vehicles bustle by and people push through for their day-to-day, getting from point A to point B to point C. Everyone is always in need of a hero in a city like this, whether it's dropping your wallet, not sure where you left it, forgetting your keys, or fighting off supervillains. And we'll go ahead and pan in to our first hero, which we'll have, I'll go ahead and have Yuri introduce your character, whether you're a hero currently or you're just walking about. What do you look like? What are you doing? And tell us what's going on in your life currently.
Okay, so I am playing Ayanthi Nereid, who is essentially an outsider to this world. She doesn't hide who she is and always gets really weird looks on the street. She's just walking on the street right now. But you would see she's wearing normal clothes and has a relatively humanoid figure. But she is a little bit more orange than tan and seems to have these weird looking gills on her head, which it just looks like she's cosplaying all of the time because the rest of her looks so normal. um some people, like I said, turn around and stare. She really doesn't care. She doesn't mind. And she's just minding her own business, walking around. She just discovered what an MP3 player is. And that's like consumed the most of her time recently.
Fantastic. Yeah, so you're walking around listening to whatever your most recent jams are, and enjoying yourself as like I said, the Electric City goes on by and continues on with its day to day, right? And then from there, we'll go ahead and jump over to Heather. Tell us what you're doing day to day, introduce your character, and kind of tell us a little bit about what's going on in your part of Halcyon City.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like the camera pans over to probably an apartment building. And depending on if it's morning or after school hours, you would see my character, Carolina, or Cara, as her family calls her, probably juggling a bunch of dishes and backpacks and, pointing at kids running around. She is just recently graduated from high school, but has been basically the surrogate mom in her family as the oldest of four for quite some time. Her dad works second shift, so depending on the time of day, he might be sleeping, he might be out. He's wonderful, but she does a lot of the stuff at home. Usually wearing just your really classic, like we're in like the 90s, right? Is that the time period kind of? It's a little back, or is it?
Yeah, I would say it's closer to probably
Yeah,
like the early 2000s, so just off the
perfect.
90s. Yeah, we're looking
Perfect.
on the heels of baggy pants. They'll come back though.
Yeah.
I love that. I was gonna say, I feel like she does not have the latest trends, so she's probably rocking like a little bit of the flare
Yes,
pants.
the Jinkos.
Yes,
Beautiful.
your classic graphic tee, hair always in a bun because she does not have time to do it, and looking at her watch, waiting to get to her shift down the street because she's also got to go work. So just hustle and bustle, looking as average Jane as possible.
Alrighty, fantastic. So we have our average day-to-day working mother of three, the
Kind of
yes,
sibling.
mother of three.
Technically a mom.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so many people have been in a position like that. And I think it's especially in a city this bustling and this busy, rent's not cheap and people got to work and people got to eat, right? And so I go ahead and pass the scene over to Angie for our final character description. What are you doing? Are you heroing? Are you out and about? What's your daily vibe?
Yeah. So if we're starting off in the morning, my character, Mallory or Mal Montero, um, wakes up in someone's bed, not their own, someone's bed, as they kind of often do. And they put on their clothes again, say a quick farewell before stepping out into the city. And Mal is this hulking 6'2" beast of a woman, muscular in frame, tall, this auburn shag of hair, dressed in a very sort of biker-like appearance with a leather jacket, a tank top underneath, boots, combat boots. And they have this just sort of air of mystery and danger to them. But they never fail to say hello or wave good morning to the people around the block. And they are headed straight for the local bodega.
Amazing. Yeah. So we get our first look at all of our wonderful characters, some hulking figures, some, possibly off-world strangers and people working their day-to-day jobs. And I think we'll go ahead and kind of just continue from there, right? The day is already busy. I think Halcyon's awake by 5 a.m. You hear horns honking, people yelling, food being slung to those who need it for breakfast as they go on their way to their daily office jobs. And so your bodega that you frequent, is this a consistent bodega or is it a different one than usual, or is this just where we go? Where are we heading, Angie?
Oh, Mal goes to the same bodega. It doesn't matter which bed they wake up in, they will take the trip to their local spot. Absolutely.
Absolutely. No,
They have
there's
to
something
get,
special.
yeah, they got to start their morning with their cafecito, extra sugar.
Perfect. So I believe Mal arrives over at their bodega. And Heather,
Mhm.
how do you interact as you see this hulking 6'3" figure come into the bodega that you've been running for probably
Yeah.
about 3 hours now?
I gained an inch. I gained an inch since my
Hell yeah.
introduction.
I'll give you another one at some point. You're
Yeah,
gonna keep
I'll just
growing.
get taller and taller.
It feels like that because Kara is like 5'5" on a good day. So every time you walk in and see her, you feel taller. So I think she is probably sweeping, just trying to keep everything clean. And definitely, there was some kid who opened the bag of chips and was munching on them like before they technically bought them and made a whole mess on the floor.
Mhm.
She just got this like little muttering scowl and looks up when you enter, and just you see this immediate shift in her demeanor. Like this is the first joy she's had today, and just Mel, where are you coming from today?
Oh, same old, same old. It doesn't really matter. How are you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. Is it still the morning? Good morning. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like I've been up for a whole day already.
I mean, that's what happens when you got 3 siblings to take care of. So totally understandable.
Yeah, Fredo has a test today, so we were drilling him on that. And I don't even know what's going on with Maddie these days. She doesn't really talk to me, teenagers.
Uh,
But
oh,
and I
you
just start
say that
heading
like
over to
you're
the
not,
cashier.
you say that like you're not a teenager yourself.
Yeah, I guess I am. But I'm 18 now. And she's like, I'm an
Oh,
adult, right?
yeah, an
Right?
adult, of course. There's still quite a little bit for you to learn, but you'll get there.
Yeah, I'll get there.
And yeah, so our kind of daily, very, I think there's something heartfelt about menial conversations. And that goes on for a bit until you see what what we I think have come to know as maybe someone who doesn't always quite fit in, just outside the bodega, walking with their headphones in, um, aloof to the world, right? And how do you guys interact to seeing said person? How do we feel?
Oh, I think
Is Yeah, is Ianthe coming into the store?
I'm not sure, Yuri, would Ianthe stop in, or are they just walking with their headphones on?
I feel like she these are the people that have been the nicest to her so far. And there was a promise of snacks. So she was probably on her way to the bodega as well. Um, and so you see her, and it's really funny because the gill's on the side, but she does have like these little holes where your human ears would be. And so she puts the headphones like over that, and the gills are just kind of popping out in the back like this. So it looks a little silly. But you guys would already know kind of what's going on with her. And so I think she would walk in and seeing them already there, you'd bring her headphones down and greet them and just be like, "Oh, hello. Um, I was promised snacks. You said something spicy.
Good morning, Ianthe.
Good morning."
I think you see kind of freeze up a little bit because I don't think Yanthi knows that kata is wave length, or that wavelength is kata quite yet. And so it's okay, right? This is where she works. But she has that moment where she's like, wait, what's my name? Who am I right now? What's my name? Okay. Welcome to hi. Welcome to the spicy that way. Spicy that way. Really
Yeah, so
awkward.
she would have been looking at Mallory, because Mallory looks essentially the same wherever she goes.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Exactly.
"Oh, come to the place where I get my
Mhm.
coffee and I'll get you a snack." I was
Yeah.
like, "Hell yeah. I'm not
It's
gonna
like,
turn down a snack."
yeah. And then spicy. Yeah, I did say I was gonna get you something spicy. Are you okay with something spicy and sweet?
Well, I've never had spicy, so I guess we
Oh,
won't know unless we try.
You've never you how is it like where where you're from? Because I know you're not from here. So you know that feeling when you eat something and it sort of just tingles and it just stays and it feels like really, really hot. Have you ever
Um,
felt that?
yes, well, there's certain fish, but I don't think you would call that spicy. I think in your world it's poisonous.
no.
All right. Okay.
We don't sell poison here. That's not what we do in this place.
I
Um,
mean,
But
and I
the
think
the, the
as you
alcohol
say
locker
that,
would tell you differently.
yeah, so as you say that, someone walks up and like slams a tall can down. It's like, "Daily poison, please," and just slides you a bit of cash and walks off
you're
for
like,
their day. A
okay,
little
but don't
early.
call it that. We don't want to get a bad rep. It's
You
not.
know, hey, a paper bag would probably be really nope. Okay, bye. Yeah,
No, they know what this is.
yeah, he's definitely gonna get stopped just walking around with a bottle of Jack on his hand.
Okay.
But
Hey, at least
spicy.
he tips. That was nice.
That's
Left me the
that's true.
change. So here,
Spicy, spicy.
buy some spicy with this. I'll give you this.
Let's see. And then I think Mal is gonna go and try and find their favorite type of spicy, which is typically like it's like the Mexican candies that have the not tahine, but it has like the spicy like seasoning, typically with either tamarind or mango.
Yeah,
Um
are you looking for like the like the chews, like the tamarindo, or like the
yeah,
The
yeah.
pulparindos
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So like
I
those ones.
literally just had one of those earlier today. It's so good. It's
Method
the
acting, Yuri,
tamarind.
method
Yeah,
acting.
the spicy
Method art.
tamarind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, as you begin kind of going through and looking for either your mango or your tamarindo candy and looking for something sweet and spicy to give to your friend, there's that undeniable static and electricity in the air, right? It's lively. This place is lively. And then there's this moment, a beat almost of pure solitude, of just iciness. For all of you, the air gets stale, and then you hear from outside as you look and you see the earth kind of begin to quake and crack along the lines of the cement and the streets, and it almost in an instant goes from a bustling morning to a hectic and panicked scene of unknown origin as the ground begins to quake and begins to move upwards almost, as it were. What would you three like to do?
Oh,
Oh,
I mean,
First off, I don't think you saw the chat, Adam, but we did have our first donation already.
I did see the chat.
Okay,
Yes,
oh,
thank you so much.
awesome.
just making sure, because it is gonna have you, it says Rara wants you to change the abilities of the villain. So I was
Mhm.
like, before he gets
Oh,
into the villain,
boy.
let's
Yeah.
make sure
No,
he's thinking
thank you
about
for
this.
checking in with me. I saw it and I was like, that's a crazy thing to do before I've introduced the
Yeah.
villain.
It's literally in the chat, anything to mess with Adam. So
I appreciate it, you know. Good friends,
But we
right?
love him. We love him. Yeah, we're all friends. Let's see. I think she, like Ianthe, would like half like not even take the tamarind candy out of her mouth. She'd like go with it and just kind of like go to the door just to see what's happening. Because she wouldn't register that there is something wrong happening because to her everything is weird here. So it might just be like another thing, right? And so she wants
Absolutely.
to see and she wants to know. And so Rara's like, I'll do it again. And so she'll just peek out and be like, oh, like, what's this? In a very like curious kind of way, not necessarily um wary, if that makes sense. She's not wary yet because she doesn't
Yeah,
know, but she goes out and just to take a look and she kind of runs to the door.
amazing. Okay. All right, so that's what Ianthe does. What about
yeah.
Mal and Kara?
Mal is going to lumber over to the door as well, looking out curiously, kind of trying to see if she sees anything.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right. So with that, really quickly, I'll see what Kara does, and then I'll cut to maybe what Mal may or may not see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Kara has a very human reaction, the complete opposite of Yanthi, and just kind of starts like, whoa, inside the little, cashier's booth, kind of almost grabbing the cash register, trying to keep things as everything's shaking. And then kind of looks around because she's not in superhero form right now. And I think what you actually see if you look really closely is that she takes little what would be the equivalent of 1990s earbuds. So probably just those little like styrofoamy things that you get on the airplane, right? Like takes those out of her ears, because that's kind of how she normally operates, and closes her eyes and just tries to kind of project and listen out for anything she can pick up with
Absolutely.
her
That's
enhanced
amazing.
hearing.
Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll start with the things we see before we get to the things we hear. And so as we peer out, again, almost as if portions of the ground are raising, um, you're now able to sort of see it take form in what I would say is almost a chunk of Halcyon City beginning to rise, as now I would say maybe it's a house up and you're looking at piping and water mains bursting, and it begins to raise, and as it raises you see the water mains freeze over, um, and you then begin to hear kind of like the bustle and commotion of people panicking as their partners who they were holding hands with are suddenly building up and they're down here and rocks are crumbling. And that is what we see, what we hear. Is there a skill or one of your techniques you'd like to use, or would you like to just go for something hearing? I want to check in with you and give you the opportunity to utilize more to gather more information.
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm not quite in full, you know, Janice wavelength mode yet, so I think this isn't like a full like unleashing of powers. It's
Okay.
more just my attempt to like kind of allow my hearing to be at its full capacity and see if I can get past the screams to try to figure out like what's going on. So maybe assess the situation. I don't know. I'll kind of leave that up to you.
Absolutely. Okay, so you again assessing the situation this time auditorially. You're listening in to what's going on around you, and I think there's a moment of the sorry, I just for the chat. There's a moment of stiff silence, like there were for a second, and then there's the heartbeats and the screams and the yelling and the crumbling and cars falling as the street gives out under them, or they're lifted halfway up and their weight pulls them back down as gravity were, as the rest of a portion of the city is defying said gravity. And through all of this, I think, not to say that you aren't just a normal person, but I think you're able to hear the wearing of something or some things mechanical in nature, and not like cars and phones, but more like adversarial robotics. And so that is what you guys have gathered from the scene as you've taken a beat to peer around the chaos of Halcyon. What do we don't want to do with this information?
Yeah.
Ianthe's going to turn to Mallory. I suppose the ground opening up like that is not entirely normal.
Mal's face is directly in, still watching this happen, when she answers and just, no, it sure isn't, princess. We should probably
Aid? Those
yeah.
people seem to. They're about to fall from a great height.
Yeah, you look up and someone's
Ugh.
like dangling.
Okay, yep. And then it's gonna open the door, and as they're opening the door, they're taking out their domino mask and putting it on. And Mallory and their big hulking figure essentially just starts running forward, and as they do, their hair, this like auburn shag, it sparks up with fire as it becomes this sort of like flaming that like that surrounds their head. Um, Essentially just going full bull, headed straight to try and help people out.
Absolutely
Anthe
amazing.
sighs and she goes, I just bought this. And so she takes care to get her headset off and grabs her MP3 and wraps it around and sets it very like gingerly on like the side of the door where they were. And she just sighs again, and you see her eyes turn blue, and these like little like scales kind of come out on her skin. Um, as she just like gingerly just kind of like floats up because she can fly, and she just like floats up, following Mallory.
Amazing. Yeah, there's nothing GM Adam loves more than magical girl transformations. And our
Yeah.
final average normal person, not a hero at all. What are we doing?
So kind of hears the robotic whirring and sees Mal take off and goes, run. Running is a good idea. And looks to everybody else like she would be running out of the cash register box and like into the back room, which is really a walk for her. Because almost in the same split second that she disappears into the back room and quickly throws off her, Jankos and tea and throws on her hood and has her, Incredibles kind of ish super suit underneath. In a split second later, with her super speed, is around the corner of the bodega, going, "Hey, Effie!" but now as Wavelength.
Yes, amazing. I think there's that moment of as you're like doffing everything you were wearing, and I think once again with your finely tuned senses of a normal average person who runs a little extra fast, there's the moment of hearing the I'm sure wonderful 90s song you were listening to on your MP3 player as you zoom around, and it kind of everything slows down for a moment, and your song, and then you catch back up with everybody else, almost as if a hero has been here the whole time. And
Almost.
yes, and so for the three of you, I'm going to give each of you a choice of a task. You guys can decide who's doing what. So we have two people that are currently getting quickly lifted into the air. One of them's holding onto the other one as they are part of the city that's leaving, and one of them is dangling against gravity, right?
Mhm.
We have a third person pinned between two cars that have crashed. They don't look severely injured. However, there's crumbling rock and ice that's clumping up from underneath this floating, now almost completely floating island, who appears to be in severe danger there. And finally, that whirring that you've all kind of been hearing just off in the distance as a kind of, it is what you would consider, what you personally would probably all consider an evil robot. As evil as a robot can be, it has been given a directive, and it is following said directive, and it is corralling the people and it's moving around, and it's beelining towards any people who are free and attempting to escape. You guys would all know that these robots are, or tech beasts, whatever you'd like to call them, are the creation of a one Absalon Almont, the multi-billion-dollar villain. You know, your typical
Hate
tech
that guy.
a-hole who has just a little too much
Capitalism.
money and wants to rule a little too much of the world. And
you do so good if you just put all that ambition to like actual good shit.
yeah,
But no,
listen,
tech robots,
listen,
tech
he's-
monsters.
He's floating a city, and
Yeah.
instead he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And there's only one small difference. You know that Absalon Almont is not a magical or a powerful, magical, powered individual. They're tech savvy, they're intelligent, they have lots of money. But this robot seems to be craggling as ice is kind of coating it, almost amplifying it. And you can tell that it is from a secondary or maybe even tertiary source of power that is beyond itself. And so I will leave that up to you. Who is doing what
Yeah.
task? Or are we trying to do these tasks as a team? I'm not sure. Let's see what you guys are going to do.
Yeah. I think Mel's gonna go for the robot. But
Yeah, I
uh
think.
but
Mm.
in seeing the people hanging from from up there,
Yeah,
Mal's gonna turn
Ianthe
to
would look
yeah.
at you.
Well, Mal
Yeah,
would turn
'cause
to
she's
Si-
already floating over your head.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Look over to Siren, just be like, you can get to them fast, and then over at Wavelength, like that guy's about to get crushed. Get him out, and then start just barreling out towards this robot.
Okay, perfect. So we'll go ahead and do this interaction between Mal and the robot first.
Yeah.
Are you going to use any power, or are you just going to straight out power it, out strength it?
I think so. I want to use in a china shop, which is
Okay.
this core.
Oh, I
the
get
core-
it.
Like a
Bull in a
bull.
china
Yeah.
shop.
It's like when I directly engage a threat, I can cause significant collateral damage to the environment. To choose an additional option, even on a miss. So it's first time playing math, so I'm not really sure what the additional option is. But I think what Mal wants to try and do as they are barreling with their hair on fire, their power sort of surging through them. It's this sort of like physical manifestation of fire as they sort of just like crank up their fists, and they're just going to take a leaping powered punch at the middle of this thing.
Yes, absolutely. So you come through with a sleeping powered punch, and you're like, I'm gonna melt this fucking robot. They're covered in ice, they're made of metal. I'm gonna melt this
Yeah.
robot right this moment.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
as you do, you see the ice suddenly wicks and turns to liquid on its body, and then just a crackle of electricity right before you go to hit it. And go ahead and roll your 1 second. Let me get it up. Go ahead and roll your attack for me. So that'll be your 2d6s and then what you make your attacks with. I'll go ahead and let you decide that because it'll be based
Yeah.
off of if it's
So
your physical
it's-
stat or your flames.
It's the labels, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say danger.
Okay.
That is the way that they make their attacks, because they truly are just this embodiment of
Force of nature.
yeah.
Amazing.
So, That is a 13.
Ooh, 13 is a
Mhm.
absolute critical success. You
Yeah.
jump up, throw that superhero punch, right? Hit the
Mhm.
pose, and there's a single moment where you hit it. And like I said, the ice wicks to water, the water wicks off its body as electricity kind of thrums around it suddenly, and you make contact, and for just a split second, it doesn't give. And there's this moment of like, I put a lot of oomph behind this, and then you rocket through it, and it explodes, and to what you can now see is about 3 more robots rearing around the corner, and it takes out 2 of them as it hits and explodes into pieces as you've just turned it to melted metal. You've smelted into this thing
Yeah.
into nothing and
Yeah.
exploded it into 2 other ones. So now there's a single further one away, and we still have our 2 individuals, or technically 3 individuals that need support. And I will let you guys pick who we go to next. Who wants to go for the next scene?
I guess as wavelength kind of just like whoop and pops up like she's been there the whole time. And Mel kind of like yells what she's gonna do, looks at Ianthe, it's like understanding, and then, runs off. And Ianthe looks down and just goes, "Oh, hello, Wavelength. I have the most delicious snack for you to try later. Remind me." And she just kind of like floats up to where the people are hanging off of this raised
Of
earth.
course.
Now,
So there's a
she
single thing really quickly that you
okay,
notice as you're floating up. You
okay,
watch as this floating island is now beginning to kind of clear the rest of this, like the rest of the ground floor of the city, and you see throughout it there appear to be some kind of like jet propulsor situation going on. Obviously, a billionaire in his tech, but the ice that had frozen over all of the water melts, and water starts leaking back out of these busted pipes again, and then the entirety of the terrain begins to crackle bits of electricity as you're flying up towards these people. So it's just a little bit more pressing now, as slipping on ice is not nearly as bad as getting electrocuted.
yeah.
Um,
So she will just instead of just kind of floating up, she'll just go like, "Oh no," and just like zoom. Now, the people, I'm assuming they're like panicking,
yes.
dangling off of this thing.
Yeah. Oh my
And
god! I can't believe
so,
we're trying to get to work. I don't.
and so she, out of her hands, you see like these like kind of bubbles begin to form. And when she gets close, she's like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna get you to safety." And as the bubbles pop like on them and on their skin, she's gonna use her pheromones to calm them down and to make them be like amiable towards her, like see her in a like a positive, kind of like a charmed effect, right? In
Yes. No.
D&D
Absolutely. That
as she
is
goes up.
fantastic. I love the description of it. I love where we're going with our characters. You guys are fantastic. And I would love to get a little role for that. You can go ahead and tell me how you're using your power, right? How your power manifests itself and what role you make.
All right. So it's they usually use their pheromones and stuff to try and control, right, others, but she doesn't like using them in that way. But still the role would be superiority.
Okay, perfect.
Um
And
as being of
yes,
a more advanced life form.
yes, absolutely.
And that is okay, that is all right. I got an 8 on the dice and I have a +2, so that's a 10.
Perfect. That is still a success in itself. And there's, like I said, there's these 2 frantic people clearly care about each other. One of them's holding on to the other one. Bit of a never let go Jack situation. For a moment, you don't know if you want to interrupt, and then you come up and you're like, you exude this aura and this pheromone of calming, and the person holding on to their loved one, their friend, is like, oh, oh my gosh, and just tosses them to you. Like, instead of like trying to, like, they've been holding on to them for moments now, maybe even a full minute or two, and that's a lot. It just kind of loosens them to you. I'm going to give them a little roll, as they've been kind of stated into, yes, okay. It is a 10 as well. They just toss them your way, and you are able to kind of gently catch said person. Would you like to attempt to get the second person, or would you like to float this dangler down back to the ground?
Um, does the person that is on the ledge seem to be, because I know somebody was hanging, right? Do they seem to be in a secure enough position
Yes,
to
they
where
are.
it would it wouldn't be dangerous for me to go down and come back up? Because if it does
Um,
look dangerous, I will attempt to take them both, but that might be
a little more
not very
difficult.
strong.
Absolutely no. So you look at the situation, and they've been able to have a solid enough foothold to hold on to their friend for almost a full minute. They are now already erecting themselves and pulling themselves back onto like the street that had broken. They appear to be in a safe and comfortable, non-compromised position.
Okay. Um, So she will float not directly under, but I'm pretty sure there's now like a ring of like people or something that are like onlookers. And so she will float that way towards the crowd
Right.
and then just go, "Hello, please check them for injuries." And then just like zoom back to the other person.
Yes, absolutely. So as that has all occurred, moments before, mhm, we go back to wavelength, and once again, this is all happening in bullet time for you guys, and for wavelength, it's truly bullet time. As again, um, we see our friends begin to engage, but for you, this is maybe the first half step each of them has taken, and it's they're moving slowly, and you're kind of taking the beat, and you're scanning. And what do you do with your bullet time?
Yeah, so I think since I get a little bit of extra time here, given my abilities, um, you mentioned that there's somebody, I think after hearing about the candy from Yancy, I say, yeah, great song, by the way, and having overheard a little of what she was playing. And then I looked to the person who you said is trapped, and I think I am not Mal. I can't, I have some enhanced strength and endurance, but I don't think I can lift a car. So, what I am looking for is how I can get creative in untrapping this person. So, I think I want to take just a heartbeat and assess the situation first and use that move to see if I can figure out kind of a creative solution to quickly snatch this person before more falls on them.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and frame it in comic book vibes,
Yeah.
right? And I'm gonna give you three different possible scenarios that you can roll for.
Okay.
So one of which is the use of one's own personal inertia, um, right?
Love that.
And sprinting into said car. You don't have the strength, but you do have the speed, um, and that would possibly leverage yourself to wedge the car away or slam the car away. That one comes at a little bit more self detriment, right? That's possibly dangerous. You could hurt yourself running into the car. We have a second option where your brain works a little bit faster than everybody else's, and so sometimes you start like putting the pieces together relatively quickly. And like you said, this is a heartbeat, and I think you even hear like the, and it's now like the kind of in bump, and you're in the moments before the heart rebeats, and you could possibly, if you hit enough speed, um, remove the person entirely, almost as if they were never there. So one of the
Mm,
issues with removing people from things sometimes is that the time or the pressure required causes scrapes and damage and can break things. But if you
mm,
remove someone fast enough, in theory, you can just, it's like slipping, like a soap slipping out of someone's hand, right?
mhm.
And I think that that is a possibility, but I'm not sure if you think you can go that fast. And our final possible option may be to climb into a vantage point and begin running, but with your feet against the car and propelling the car away with your personal abilities. And I'll go ahead and let you decide.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. I love the idea of all of these little things just playing out in the back of my mind, like calculations. I think that I like the idea of just trying to remove the person.
Okay.
I like this idea because that feels most like core to what I would do. So I think the thing that makes the most sense here is to roll savior.
Okay.
And see when I put my mask on, that's the label that comes with it for me is savior. So I get a little bonus for that. I'm gonna do that.
Perfect. Yeah, go ahead and roll your savior for me. Let's see how fast you truly are.
Okay. Got a 5 and a 2. It's a 7 plus 1, so 8.
8. Okay. So you succeed, but there's a minor complication.
Yeah.
So you kind of speed yourself up a bit, take a moment, and then just full stride, right? Full speed, get there, remove them. And in removing them, I think your original goal was to hit such a velocity and such a speed that you practically ignore the moment of the car and the physics of it. And just both of you just slip right out of the position. You grab them and you're out. But instead, they pop out and you're wedged in between two cars as you have removed them, and suddenly you're like, oh, okay. And they are safe. Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. They're running off to the crowd of people as they've been saved. And simultaneously, like I said, in the beat, you now see floating down is Ianthe holding the person they just saved, and you see a robot get flung away and explode right as you've just stuck yourself in between two cars.
I think there's this moment where I'm like, I should call for Mal. I don't want to call for Mal. Mal's busy. I should call for Mal. And then the first thing that comes to my head here is actually based on one of the earlier things that you just said. I'm almost wondering about if I can like vibrate to a point that I could just make a little bit more room here.
Absolutely.
Which might be like an unleashing of my powers. Just in this like really tight space.
Yeah, totally. Go ahead and give me another roll for that. Let's see if you can kind of push yourself.
Okay.
That's such a good idea, though. It is.
I think so for this one, if I do unleash your powers, it's actually I roll freak.
Oh.
Because it's like, which I actually have a -1 on. So but let's just see. Oh, I got a 10. So even with a -1, it's a 9.
So I will say again, a success. And I think due to your use of freak, and you've just saved somebody, and there's a moment of them being like, thank you. And a 9 is a success, and you begin to vibrate out. And I think it's less of a complication and more of like a moment of like you do something you didn't know you can do, which I think might even freak you out, in that you, instead of vibrating to give yourself space, vibrate through the car. You speed yourself up to a point of like, I didn't know I could do that. And it's not just like, oh, I moved a little quicker than I thought. You have just completely done something not even within the scope of your concepts. And you're freed. You're not in the cars anymore.
John Mulaney voice.
Our-
I didn't know it could do that.
Are people like staring at me though?
Yes.
Like that's
Absolutely.
yeah.
You
That's
have, I think, thrice now defied physics in front of them, and they're like, well, like, this is a bit much. And so you've all three kind of completed that moment. And again, there's these whirring robots. I think you guys maybe recheck in with each other, kind of give each other the glances. And as you do, again, this time you hear a voice, and in hearing it, I think you all recognize that everyone else is hearing this voice. And it is the voice of the billionaire villain. He sounds a little more frantic than typical. He's usually very calm, cool, collected. I have a lot of money. I don't have to care about anything except for ruling the world. And he speaks calculatedly as he would, as an intelligent person would. But there's only a single problem before I go into what he says, and it's that he should not be able to speak into your mind. It's, um, you just hear the brusque kind of frantic voice. Bring me the hero soul, or I drop the city on the rest of the city, and I just kill everybody. I'm done playing games with those dangers to us. And there's a beat again, and he's like, and my bots know. And you see the robots begin wearing up and are no longer seem to be directive in corralling people, but are now looking directly at you guys. So,
Amazing.
for
Okay.
your character information, you guys are aware that the hero's soul is, for lack of a better phrasing, the Superman of this world. Oogles of power, oogles of gravitas, powerful, kind of the being that deters villainy, right? They are the symbol. They are. I think we mentioned my hero here when we talked at 01. They're the symbol of peace.
Yeah.
They mean something. But you know that according to the Society of Heroes and according to the news, the hero's soul has been off planet for about 3 weeks now. And so whatever this is and whatever this demand is can't be met if, you know, if there's not a hero to deliver.
Yeah.
Mm.
It doesn't make sense. Everyone knows Soul is off planet.
You said this voice is in our heads?
Mhm.
Okay. Because I was going to ask if I could
Ianthe,
hear, like, where it was
yeah,
coming from.
Ianthe just goes, oh, that's odd. I thought only I could do that. Because she has telepathy as one of her.
Oh,
But yeah, and without it being coming from somewhere, wavelength wouldn't be able to try to pinpoint where it's coming
right.
from.
That's
Yeah.
exactly, that was my first instinct, was like, can I follow the sound wave, but not if it's in my head. So this is really throwing me off. Even more so than just having
Yeah.
vibrated through a car.
Are both of you okay?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Do you think it was only to us, or maybe any of the other heroes might have heard that little message? I can only assume other ones of us might be on the trail now.
Yeah, so she'll look around. Do the people on the ground look like they heard the message and stuff?
That's a great question. Yes. There's, I
Everybody, oh
think,
shit.
a very special face that someone makes when there's a voice in their head that is not theirs. um, and it's out of nowhere. And you see all of the people here are making that face. This is I would say you guys might barter that this is a call to action to not just Halcyon, but the world. And
Ooh.
you might not be the only people hearing this.
Yeah.
Oh. This is big.
This
And
is, but
really
also
quickly, would one of you mind go ahead and giving me either a superior or savior role? You can pick who does it, and this is sort of to put some small pieces together and to deliver a little more information to you.
Okay.
I can
I don't know what
do
your
it if you
savior
want.
stats are like, but I have a +2 on superior.
I have a
I
+1, so if you want to do
Okay.
I've got either a 1 or a -1. So
All right, so not you got it.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll see. Oh, 10 plus 2, that's a 12.
Oh goodness, that's really good. Okay.
Good choice. Good choice.
And yeah, so I think that Anthony, I don't think you've interacted with a lot of heroes in your
Mm-hmm.
time here, just some here or there. But you recognize that things that are occurring that I think maybe you've heard talkings of Absalon, right? He's a billionaire who does crazy shit sometimes. And you know he doesn't have powers, and he's just a person with a lot of money, or relative currency. You have a concept of that. You've sort of been trying to understand what's going on our wonderful planet, but you remember meeting a hero named Lightburst. And now that you're looking at the electricity that's kind of going throughout this terrain, it is identical to that of Lightbursts. The one or two times you've interacted with them, maybe on mission or somewhere on maybe when you first came down, right? Who knows? But this electricity is not of mechanical creation. It is a power, a meta ability, and that of a individual you know as Lightburst.
Um, yeah, so she would look at the other two and just kind of be like, doesn't the electricity strike you as odd though? It
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of a fellow I've met before. Wasn't very nice. So I never wanted to keep his company, but you might know him. Another like you, I believe. Lightburst was the name he went by.
Yeah, that rings
Does
a
that
bell. Now that you say that.
does that ring a bell?
Yes, and along with that ringing a bell, I think that you're now kind of looking back on the things that have occurred here in the
Mm-hmm.
past maybe 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that ice is ice you've melted before when dealing with a hero and helping out the hero who would often create kind of
Mm-hmm.
icicle statues or creations to hold things together during emergency situations, referred to as Blue Angel, called themselves Blue Angel, and they would freeze things. And that ice had that blue hue, that unnatural blue hue that regular ice doesn't have.
Yeah.
Do you think other
Yeah.
heroes are helping him?
Yeah, it wasn't just the electricity. The ice is also blue angels, like blue angels.
So either other heroes are helping him, which would be odd, or he is taking their powers somehow.
Yeah,
I
but he
wonder.
sounded. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Um, he sounded manic though. He doesn't typically sound like that. I don't know if any of you ever come across this man, but he doesn't sound like that. And Mallory has a moment where I feel like she remembers growing up, uh, going to these very rich parties, very exclusive gatherings of individuals who at the time Mallory did not realize would be considered just supervillains. And as a young teenager, very just on the cusp of becoming a teenager, having a conversation with this man and just knowing that he was much more calculated, much more like chill, very intelligent. So the way that he just sounded is just this just doesn't make sense. That's not what Absalom is like.
I wonder, kind of thinking through all of this, we're in a huge city with so many superheroes. Is there, I'm wondering if, like, we're a little newer on the scene, but we've been around. there's got to be like a water cooler spot or like a cafe, or there's got to be like a place where a bunch of superheroes all hang out. And so I think Kata's or Wavelength's initial thought is like, well, let's go ask some people. Like, has anybody seen any of Lightburst or Blue Angel recently, or any word of whether or not Hero Soul is coming back anytime soon? Like, if we can go get some info.
That is a great idea.
That is a great idea. So, really quickly, the crises have seemed to be mostly averted. There's no longer people falling. The main bulk of like stuff crashing down from part of the city lifting up is done, as the city's most lifting up, but getting carried into the sky, which I feel as though maybe that's something you can't quite contend with in the moment. And there are still robots who you now see are scanning people, which you can tell is probably checking for meta abilities as they're kind of training around and looking. Um, and from that, I'll say the cooler, right? The drink spot. There's this large building called the Ashell Building, AXEL, yeah, Shell Building. It's a large corporation. You guys, or at least one of you, would know that the corporation is owned by a hero billionaire who likes to make gadgets and toys and run around at night.
Batman, is that you?
Batman. And
It's
but you know it
Ratman.
is a front for a lot of heroic tech that is given out and made. And you know that if you're going to find heroes there, it's the easiest place to do it. And beyond that, there's a guarantee if you have the credentials, you can log in and check in for the hero who is plugged into all of the internet all over the world, LRC31, which is a robot who is a robot made by our very own villain billionaire who has gained consciousness and become a hero of sorts. And so LRC31 has a lot of information. They are the internet.
Ooh.
And so you guys can either contend with the fact that there are lots of robots scanning for meta abilities, or you can beat feet and try to find somewhere else to figure things out.
Yeah. We should.
Oh,
Yeah,
do
we
you
should go
want
to
to
a
get
show.
rid of these first?
It seems safe, right? Are there any more people up there?
I would not. I wouldn't risk it. Not just the three of us. I think I got lucky with my last punch. Those things are tough, and we might be contending with bigger things.
So we go get help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, going
I mean,
to the.
for Mal to not want to just punch is a big thing. So I think we listen to that instinct.
I like punching. I really do. And that one, it took a beat. I'm just worried. I think you're both great and capable of what you do. I would be a little bit worried having to keep my eye on the both of you between contending with these things.
You can't see the face I'm making at you under my mask when you say that.
Is it just like a Spider-Man style mask, or like it's just?
Yes, pretty much. Except there is a little like slit in the back for my curly poof to come out because
you can't forget the curly poof.
You can't forget the curly poof.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the concept of like emoting under the mask and forgetting you have a mask on and being like, why aren't they reacting to me? Like, what's going on?
It's
this
just
mean
like
face.
it's just like the Deadpool squint eye thing, you know?
So if we're gonna head to a shell building, I think I'll look at both of you and say, I'll meet you there. Cool? And
right.
All right. Siren, do you
Yes.
know where the location is? Have you ever been to the Ashell building?
I can follow you.
Okay, let's go.
Perfect. So you guys go to the SL building. It's relatively, I think, one of the things about a world where heroes and villains exist is that there's protocols for stuff like this, and people have kind of turned in and gone to either their own personal safety plans, like safety houses, or have gone into like we're at work and are now hunkering down and kind of waiting for the heroes to work it out. They always tend to. And there's a empty silence, no longer that electrical buzz in the air as the city has come to a standstill, waiting for the heroes to do what is deemed their jobs. And you guys get to a shell your building, and you guys are able to go in pretty easily. Everything's still kind of operational here. This is also a fortified building, as you know. It's a building for heroes, and maybe not everyone knows that, but a lot of people know that. And so, what are you guys looking for or attempting to do in a shell? I'll go ahead and give you guys a little bit of free range on your personal interactions with the Society of Heroes and how closely you might be tied to some of them or any of them.
I'll
think
just say
am gonna
too.
look around just to try to see if the heroes that were mentioned, um, like look to be anywhere.
Okay. All right. So yeah, as you look around, I think it's obviously a large, like skyscraper-esque building. And you look around, and there appears to be kind of very like the skeleton crew almost. There's very few people actually working or actually out here. Once again, a lot of people are probably in a protective area, but there appear to be no current like fitted or outfitted heroes or named heroes out in the area. So you do not see Lightburst or Blue Angel.
I think when you guys get to the building, I'm already there, even though I said I'd meet you there. Part of my whole thing is that I have to check on my family on the way there. So I take a quick detour to a payphone, make a quick call to the bodega owner to tell them that I closed up shop because of the emergency, and then and to go home, and then another quick call to the school to tell, like, make sure the kids all get home. Don't want to drop my obligations because that could have consequences for my character. So I'm building it in. And then meet you there. And I think my inclination is to probably go see LR C31, who I think I've interacted with before. They helped make my hood here because it has like sound dampening abilities built in to help me not be. And so I'd probably go check in there and see if they have any information about what's going on, or if he can give us any insight as to, Mal mentioned that like that Absalon sounded really manic. If he can give us any insight, or I don't know what pronouns LR C3 was.
Yeah. And I think with Mal, Mal follows Ianthe's direction of trying to see if Blue Angel and Lightbeat, correct? Lightburst?
Lightburst, yeah.
Lightburst are around, and the moment that they don't see it, this is kind of like a we said it was kind of like a watering hole. So it's like is there a place to kind of, are there any, you said there's no named heroes. I'm
Yeah.
assuming, the Justice League is not here.
Yeah.
But like, are there like kind of like the little guys, like more of like the vigilante style, or are there people congregating together?
So I will say you would know that on the 23rd floor is kind of the Society of Heroes meeting point. That is the Justice League, as it were, right?
Yeah.
That's where you'll find LRC31's primary body is typically there, plugged into something, along with any meetings that are held there. So if you're looking for people, that's the best spot inside right now. There are no vigilante level heroes. You guys, maybe what you're picking up is you're the first to get on to whatever this beat is. There's a lot of chaos going around the city, and those a little lower to the ground are doing the groundwork, right? They're patching people up, they're rushing people to the emergency rooms, doing those things. And it appeared as though everyone heard the announcement made by our villain, and yet, Soul's off planet, and so it's again, a little skeleton crew-esque, just some, I would say, kitted out like security workers, so they have like stun guns powerful enough to like deal with like lower level or like less powerful
Do we
meta
all have
abilities or meta abilities.
access? Are we all like registered heroes in this society? Yeah.
I think that is up to you. I don't know how into the society you are. Some people like to do their own
Because
thing.
I feel like Mal wouldn't register uh out of safety for themselves because of who their parents are.
Right.
So Mal wouldn't register. Uh even if they just walk around just doing the thing that they do.
Yeah, I think the only actually registered one might be
Wavelength.
wavelength. Yep. And
Yeah.
that's just because Ianthe wouldn't even know that they had to, right? Because where she comes from, everybody can do the things she can do, so it's not a thing to
Yeah.
register. So I
Like, it's
think
been on
only
my to-do
wavelength
list.
would have to let her know and to tell her and to bring her to register. So I think like wavelength would be the only one that actually has access to like the robot and be able to communicate with them, probably. Is there like, for example, like the people yeah, like the guards and stuff. I think Ianthe's gonna go over to them.
Yeah, so as you go over to them, they, unlike a lot of people who would see you scaled out with the full, right, the full hero going, the full otherworlder, they don't react the way most people might. It's like, oh, hello, nice to have you here, registered hero, I'm assuming, right? You look like a hero.
I suppose you can call me that. Um, I have a couple of questions. I wanted to see if you could help me out. And you see, like, her hands are down, but you see, like, the little bubbles popping around. But because they're looking at her face, they wouldn't notice
Absolutely, yeah.
that there's pheromones going around.
Amazing, yeah, to make them just a little more helpful.
A little
Um,
more pliant.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead. I'll say they are not equipped to deal with something of that capacity. They don't have any like breathers on or anything. So they, due to the close proximity and due to the lack of panic they're exhibiting, it very quickly takes hold. And on that note, we'll also let um, I'll let Soundwave know, or Wavelength. I apologize. I'll let Wavelength know
It's okay.
that that you know you're registered as a hero, but you are not of high enough clearance to enter the 23rd floor. So you will need a key of sorts or another way of entering there. And kind of on that, again, it's this moment of like a slow beat of like, oh shit, like sure I'm like Society of Heroes, but they're not gonna let me in there. Like my bosses aren't gonna let me come and hang out in the office. And as you're thinking that, you see the guards kind of go not complacent but calm, and their senses are very clearly dulled, as I think you would all notice with relatively sharpened senses of your own.
Would they like the gatekeepers right now for us to go into like the elevator?
What was that? I'm sorry. Could you repeat yourself?
Are they like right now like gatekeepers for us to go into the elevator to try and get to the 23rd floor?
Technically, yeah, that would be their
Yeah.
job, is to
So
check your clearance.
yeah, got it. I think again, Mallory has no inclination towards becoming registered or care about the rules. So I think Mallory's just gonna be like, look, there's a lot happening and we need to speak to LRC. So you can stop us or you can get with the program.
So I'll go ahead and let you. You can roll what you'd like to roll. I would most likely say it's either. I'll depends on what you're trying to do, but
Yeah.
savior would work because you're like, I'm a hero, but also danger would work. Like, it's like, do you want to get punched in the face? You know?
I
Uh,
would say danger because
Mhm.
there's a certain level of intimidation that Mallory's trying to use. I'm gonna fuel my ego and say that Mallory is looking down at these men.
uh-huh.
From where are we at now in height, Adam?
I think you came in here at about 6'5". I think
Oh,
you
got it.
tower
Yeah.
over these men. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gained 3 inches since the beginning of
Growing.
the game. So yeah, a 6'5" woman just being like, yeah, get with it. So and I rolled danger.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and
Do it,
also
do
I'll
it.
give you advantage on that, so you can
Okay.
re-roll your lowest. So if you roll 2 die, you can
Uh-huh.
re-roll the lowest.
Great. Thank you so much because I was really bad. That's much better. I rolled a 1, the lowest, and then a 2. And I'm like, that's not good.
Oof.
But so I re-rolled the 1. That's a 5 plus 5 and a 2, so that's a 7. And then I have 3 in danger, so that's 10.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So again, you got that advantage, that bonus, because they're lowered. They're not weakened but softened by
Yeah.
the pheromones they're taking in. And they're like,
Amazing.
like, oh, like we can't really let you, and then it's get on with it. Like you're either on or you're off. Don't make me throw
Yeah.
you off. And there's like,
Go. Kick
look,
rocks.
you guys are the futures of tomorrow, right? Like go ahead and
Thanks.
get up there now. Why wait
Yeah.
till tomorrow? You know,
Go.
have a
Yeah.
great day. Have a great day.
Go be with your wife. Kiss your children good night. Have a good evening.
I think when
See you
you say
later.
that, there's a moment of earnest concern as they're like, is the world ending? Like it went from like, oh, daily hero should be like, is the world ending? Like
Would
you're saying
be.
things like,
I mean, the moment you walk out of here, I don't know how. It's kind of like when you walk into work and then you don't realize when it started raining and then you walk out. Well, the city is floating, so I don't even know if your home is still there. So I'd
oh,
say maybe get going. I release you for the day. Have a great day.
just like, oh, my mom gets motion sickness. I gotta go, and just
Yeah.
runs off. As they run off, you see their little key loop kind of drops a scan card that you would know you would need to get
Yes.
into any floor here. And you're able to get that, and as a team who has just intimidated some guys doing their job, are able to
We love the narrative.
are
Hey,
able to get into
Ianthe was trying to ask them nicely, okay?
it's so good because I have to be like, hey, like we would love to, and it's like,
Like,
you either give
hello.
us the key or we take the key. It's like, whoa.
I think
Um,
also you said that you see the little thing fall off, but I think what that actually was me like super speed grabbing it,
yes,
knowing that we would be
absolutely. Yeah, you just kind of
and it just looks
unbutton
like
the
it fell off.
little take off, and it just fills to the floor as both of them have run off. And pick that up and get on with the next portion of your journey.
Now, I
We get
will
on the elevator,
say,
see Ianthe pull out another tamarindo candy out of her pocket and pop it
Amazing.
in her mouth. She really likes them.
I was gonna say, I feel like wavelength elevators, not because of like enclosed space or anything, but because they're so slow. And like I could have run up 23 flights of stairs, but like we're here as a team, and so there's just like tapping happening, and then like the sound of the hard candy in your mouth is just like
Yeah, it is.
not a great
The rapper.
situation.
Yeah.
It's a
It is
sensory nightmare,
an
straight up.
eternity.
Yeah.
It's an eternity.
Yeah, and then the 23rd floor comes up, and it as it's waiting for you to scan yourself in. You scan the card you've lifted from the guards, and it boom. And as it opens up, this is the first time any of you have been treated to seeing the interior of the 23rd floor, right? The meeting space for a lot of these, the greatest heroes, the greatest heroes of your world. And it is a partially ravaged room. And you see that there are cases that are smashed and destroyed, and an overturned table made of pure granite. Um,
Oh,
and then you see kind of the overturned, like thrown, metallic body of the hero you're looking for, LRC31. And he's sort of like
he's
that.
on the ground.
He doesn't appear to be destroyed, but he is kind of wearing. He's like,
Oh, no. Took out my boy C3PO.
So
yeah,
because
Master
she
Skywalker.
like Ianthe kind of puts her arms out to the sides so that they don't walk in, and she takes a beat to, because of her telepathy, she can talk into people's minds. And so she uses that to try and sense if there is another mind in the room. Like, is there anyone else we can't see?
That is
I was gonna do the same with my hearing. I love that.
really
We're
it.
on the
That
same
is,
wavelength.
you guys are
Yeah.
great.
My
Um,
favorite thing, because there's two very cautious individuals, and Mal is just like, let me at him, let me at him.
yes.
So both
Okay.
of you
So
just grabbing Mal from one arm, like, do not move. Just
hold
like,
on. Yeah.
okay.
And so there's this beat as you scan out, and you're kind of picking at any possible mind or brain that may be in this room, and you're trying to feel for any person, and you extend out, and then there's this second, and it's just, and you feel a little bit of feedback, and that's where we're gonna go to break.
Oh, come
Ah!
on.
Dang. Good
Oh,
one, Adam.
break
Good
time.
one.
Good one.
Yeah, thank you guys so far. We're having so much fun. I can't wait to keep going. We'll be back shortly.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Okay, so where we left off, I believe we were reaching out, feeling for the possibilities of what might be in this room. And not to be othered, but there's, I think for the first time ever, because I doubt you've touched the sentient mind of a synthetic being, but you make contact with LRC31's mind, which is one, good news because there's no one else in here, but two, possibly a bit overwhelming.
All right. It's just weird, and she's used to weird, so this is a little
On the level.
off for her. Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Yeah.
So she'll turn around and look at the other two and bring her hands down when she realizes that there's nobody but the robot. Um, and just say out loud, "There's nobody else here. You can go talk to him. He seems uh alive, for lack of a better word."
Yeah, I think I'll definitely jump into like mom mode, essentially, and kind of get down, like kneel down, probably next to the LRC31, and kind of assess the damage, if you will,
Yeah.
and see if I can
Mhm.
figure out, like gently.
Yeah. Yeah. So you grab LRC31, and again, they're a robot. They're uploaded to every computer. Realistically, they plugged into a lot of places. And so you do know that there's often not very much worry about their body. But it is a powerful body. It's well built. It's strong metals. And on that same note of it being strong metals, it has, you know, portions of it like crushed or maimed, and you see it is LRC31 was part of whatever went on in here. And then as you pick them up, oh, hello, Hero Wavelength.
Oh, you remember me?
I remember everybody.
Do you remember what happened here? And I gesture, it's destroyed.
Um, I do. We were light on heroes, and Absalon made his way in here with his bots, and he took some things. When Blue Angel and Lightburst arrived on the scene, they went after him. I don't know what's happened with them. I have not been able to contact them.
Mhm. Have you heard anything uh, about Hero Soul? Maybe coming, being back, or any way to contact them?
Hero's soul is currently off planet.
Yeah.
Wait, if the other heroes went to, I guess, deal with this man and his robots, but now the man and his robots are using their power.
I think
Do
you
you
might be right.
think they are doing so willingly?
Unlikely scenario.
Yes. Which means it's quite dangerous if he can take your powers from you.
I do not have powers to take. I am LRC31.
I like this one.
I like
He has a
you.
brain.
Um, but why the destruction in the room?
I attempted to fight them off before they took many of the items we had in here.
I
Oh,
see.
who's
That is quite brave.
It is a hero's job to be brave.
Can you have candy?
I cannot. I do
oh,
not have a
that's
mouth.
yeah. No, that's not a good idea.
Um, oh, okay.
So LRC31 doesn't know what could have happened to Blue Angel and Lightburst, but we do know that this was Absalom. Was there anyone else with Absalom? LRC?
No, there was not. It was Ab and his bots. They appeared to be upgraded.
How so?
Running diagnostics, and then you see him kind of take a moment and like. With my best estimation, not unlike me, they are variantly created. I was made to be my own operation systems. I believe that they were made with, well, the creator's DNA in mind.
The creators. When you're saying the creators, you mean Absalom?
I do. I believe that they are, well, his closest to bio works, biosynthetics. That's what I think. And you see him kind of, and so you see that his current body is beginning to give as it took a lot of damage.
LRC31, is there a way that we can put you in a different body or do something to stabilize your? I don't know the right words here.
Um, I am everywhere. As soon as this body breaks down, I will awaken in another body somewhere in Halcyon.
A nice trick.
It's very
Do,
pleasant.
do you not have a location for where this other body is? In case we need to find it and speak to it again?
You can speak to me through the heroics computers.
Are there mobile heroics computers available?
Those are of a higher order. I would have to make you official members of the Heroic Society if you would want
I,
that.
I'm a member, and I'll pull out my badge that has
Yeah,
like
Wavelength is a member.
Oh,
it's like
wonderful.
the wrong way, like like the licenses that are like under 21 to show I'm not like a full.
Yeah, they like, yeah. Oh, wonderful. Like hold your they hold your hand. It's like, well, I believe in times like this, it is okay to promote members. you are now an official member of the highest ranking of the Heroic Society. Here is, and then you see them like their hand like in a little like small like I would say like flip phone almost. It's just a little more boxy and a little more metal than it is like than an actual phone because it has it's connected to LRC31 and his and their abilities, and so it kind of shunts out to you, and so now you have access to asking LRC31 anything that like the high impromptu clearance.
Oh,
You can't,
upgrades. People upgrades.
you can't see it under the mask,
Yeah,
but
emoting
like,
crazy.
thrilled.
Everyone's like,
How does it?
Like,
Real quiet.
Since he can take powers as far as we've been able to figure out, we've seen two already. Are there any other heroes that were sent to stop him? Because then we would have to watch out for their powers as well, just in case.
not that I'm currently aware of, but I do believe heroes will be mounting for support shortly.
How
Perhaps we need to try.
do we?
Absalom.
Yeah, do we know that Absalom has used bioengineering in his creations before?
No, that's a new step for him, and
Yeah.
I think with the kind of the click of the bioengineering thing, it's interesting because you saw ice on the bot, and then you saw electricity on the bot, and so they might have a two-way compatible kind of sentient situation.
Do we know? Do we, any one of us or Mal, know of any villain or even hero with a bioengineering ability like that or
No.
proficiency? Because of course, ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say in terms of like someone who could do it, it's not out of the realm of possibility for him, like himself. It
Okay.
is just he has the money, he has the time, but it's kind of that step into madness where it's like, well, if you backwards compatible, if you're backwards compatible with your robots, there might be a little more going on than just being a rich guy controlling robots.
Yeah. Oh.
Do we have
Maybe we need.
any idea of his current whereabouts?
And for someone who's demanding who was demanding the hero's soul, did not really give you know direction as to where to find him, do. Also, still just a little confused as to why so manic. And I feel like he would know that soul isn't here. So why mount the attack now?
That's the part
Correct.
I keep getting stuck on too.
Hero's
What
soul
if
is
another
off planet.
what if another of his robots gain, a mind of their own? Like our little friend here.
That is unlikely. I am an anomaly, they say.
Oh, LRC. We all like to think that we're special.
What?
Hey, no.
You're gonna give
he's
the
special.
computer an existential crisis, and
I am
I'm just
special.
gonna like.
We live in a society where a lot of people are special, and it wouldn't be uncommon for maybe a second anomaly to happen.
My powers can't get stolen. I am special.
So moving on from this idea, because again,
It's okay, Chuck.
it's yeah. LRC31, can you contact Absalom?
No, not that I'm aware of.
What are you thinking?
Right. Well, I not for nothing. I almost just want to go ask. He's not here. Why would he be asking for something that he knows is not here? It's like when Lulu asked me for the more of the snack that I just told him we're done with. It doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not 7, you know? So I just,
Maybe he's sick.
Sickness does drive those with great minds to intense lengths, I have heard.
Yeah. It's kind of, what happens to mad scientists as we know them.
Right, like the creator is.
What, yours?
Yes, my creator. He's a mad
Oh,
scientist. Wouldn't you
that's
say?
true. Oh, yeah, that's true. And then you gain sentience
Right.
because
Yes.
yeah.
It's okay. I don't like my father either.
I bear what I believe you would call affection towards my creator, but I do not agree with him.
how practical.
Any idea how we can find him?
I don't think he is hiding. If the heroes went to find
Oh.
him, I'm sure they found him.
I was going to say, does he have a Stark Tower?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
he's a
the
billionaire, and he keeps
the
getting away with doing crazy shit because he's a billionaire.
it's the Megamind compound. Are we gonna go?
If he doesn't
Presentation.
have huge like goth boots, I'm gonna be mad.
With a name like Absalom, I'm like, this guy is listening to Evanescence on repeat. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's not
Love
almond,
it.
it's almond. I say we
So-
take it to him.
Um, yeah, I'm just, a little concerned. We might be a little bit out of our league, but
I do not disagree with you. It is unfortunate that Soul is off planet.
yeah, I'd be insulted if, if this was a different situation, but
You're very capable. You're very capable now. Remember, he's not very familiar with you since you're not a mem, right?
yeah, no, he's definitely not familiar with me.
Not at
Well,
all.
Not at all. Um,
But
I've never
what
met
if
him
he
in my
isn't,
life.
though? What if we just think he is?
Off planet, you mean?
Yes.
I'm thinking that too. You keep saying that he's off planet. How do you know?
That is the knowledge I've been given, that he is off planet.
By who?
Fake news.
I do not have the clearance to share that information with you.
You just gave it
Didn't
to
you
her.
you just promoted her?
Yes. She is promoted. She has the clearance to look through information. I do not have the
Well,
clearance to share information out loud.
well, can you give
Oh,
her the
oh,
clearance?
oh! I can
Then
start searching.
Ianthe will go back into its weird brain, and she really doesn't want to, but he said something. I don't have the clearance to share it out loud. And so she didn't think about how weird his brain is when she jumped back in to Link, and then she just like shudders because she remembers after she's done it. And she just goes, "Well, you don't have to say it out loud. You just have to think
Go
it."
ahead and give me a freak roll for that one. I'm gonna take a. freak roll.
Absolutely. Yeah, my telepathy is
Mhm.
100% freak. Oh, please. Oh, 6, 5 plus 1. That is, I can't
12.
do
11.
math. Yes!
Yeah.
Like my brain just blanked out so bad.
Amazing. That is a really, really good roll. So you hop in, and I think simultaneously you're all kind of coming to the same conclusion. Like, you guys have to have access to this somewhere now that you've been given clearance, and they're saying that they are not allowed to. They don't have clearance to say it out loud, and so you guys are all kind of scrambling for the same level of information. And inside of this tech brain, a brain that is sentient of its own kind of fumblings. It fumbled into being sentient. It was so perfectly created that it developed its own sentience. And so it takes a moment, but it's very cataloged inside of this brain. And you scroll through this cataloged brain, and you find that the hero's soul is not off planet, but rather, quote, indisposed. Is to not be bothered.
Damn, this really is Megamind. Indisposed. What
Is that
Can you
It-
see who made the
The hero's
entry? Like
soul.
who put the information in there?
of course?
he's taking a sabbatical.
He
That's
just
what
put
it
a do
is.
not disturb on his
He-
door and
Yeah.
locked it,
Yeah.
essentially.
No, taking a picture, taking a page out of your book now.
I mean, I get it. Like sometimes you need a break, but the world, I mean, the city is also in dire peril. So is there any
Do
way
we
to
know? I
Yeah.
was gonna
And the
say.
villain is asking for
where-
him.
could we go
Downloading
find
location
them?
now, and then your little device gets a ping.
I love this thing.
Oh,
I'm gonna get one of these for the kids. Do you have more of these? Do they have tracking in them?
Powering down. And you see the
No.
body is finally starting to give.
okay. Well,
Okay.
the great thing is that I don't care what happens to me if Soul gets pissed. So we could still go find him. He wants to be unbothered. I mean, I could bother less.
Well, he is a hero, so he wouldn't, I don't think, hurt us. Maybe kick us out of his home, but I think we should be okay. It's definitely a safer route than going straight to uh, the robot man.
Yeah. Let's at least try that one first.
Okay, so I apologize, Wavelength. You cannot just run off this time. You have the location, and we
Yeah.
must
I mean,
follow
I
you.
could, but that wouldn't be, very team-like. So,
Mm.
and then, no, what fun is that? Okay, here we go. And but you know what? I am gonna take the stairs, so I'll meet you at the bottom. Mhm.
All right, and I guess we head off to wherever the ping
Fantastic.
location
Yeah,
is.
so I will let you know the ping to location is about a couple,
It's
just
the villain's
a little,
lair. No, I'm just kidding.
just a little over a
Sorry.
mile into the sky, and it would be just shy of leaving our atmosphere, where gravity still can keep it around the Earth. And you see it just pinging, just boom, boom, and from what you can look at on like the GPS you've been given, it appears to be kind of an asteroid of sorts that circles Earth. And I think you would have even seen this up there when you came to Earth in whatever manner you did, Ianthe. I think you would have seen an asteroid floating around Earth.
It's the main moon.
A vacation home, perhaps?
It's an interesting vacation spot, but I bet the sunrises are beautiful.
Yeah. Does that mean we have to go to space?
I think
Well,
Ianthe, you're able to
yes.
go, but not. I don't think we're capable of getting up there ourselves.
Just
Unless
shy of
there's some-
space.
Yeah.
Do you
unless there's
suggest
something around the
splitting up?
tower? We could, or we could find something around the tower that could get us up there.
Yeah. I mean, maybe between your flight ability and me doing something with friction. I mean, I vibrated that through a car earlier. Anything's possible.
Oh.
Now. We can
I
get up
have-
there.
I have something that might be of use, but I do not think you will enjoy it.
I'll try anything once.
Tell me more.
Well, I didn't just fly here from my planet. That is akin to you attempting to swim across the ocean. You need a boat, don't you? And so I have one that just doesn't tread water, but space.
Yeah.
It is not very large. It was only me in it after all. Um, but I suppose we can make do.
Oh, you wanted me to get in a spaceship? Oh, okay.
I mean, we're all
Okay,
gonna have to get
yeah,
in a spaceship. Get real comfy and cozy.
Yeah.
Yes. Not very
Okay.
comfortable, actually,
Oh,
but
well.
Yeah.
cozy.
Of course not. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Very well.
Wonderful.
I cannot call it here. Unfortunately, we will have to go out on an open space.
Yeah.
Do you just like have it? Is it just start like kind of looking at you like is it in a pocket with your
No, no. And she brings out what looks like a little, remote looking thing. But we are on the 23rd floor of a building. I do not think it wise to call it here.
There could be a hollow pad at the top of the building.
roof?
That would work.
Roof is good. Yes, roof is good.
To the roof.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you guys make your way to the roof. I'm sure wavelength just up the
Yeah,
stairs.
she
all
just
the-
runs up there. She's
Yeah.
like, fuck the elevator.
Yeah, well, the two of you just like or for another about like 20 something, 30 something floors. As you guys, you get to the top, it opens up, and you are in the area for a helipad. You're able to call your ship. Would you like to
Yeah.
describe it for us?
Yeah, so I have the outsider ability Kirby Craft. So I have a vehicle, something from my home, right? It is just not very, it's very easily detectable, not very fast, right? It's kind of like lumbering thing. But you, as we were up there, she would click a button and then just smile and then just kind of wait. And you can just give it, and it's like a minute or so of just the most awkward silence as you see kind of lumbering close. It looks to be made out of what in on the human, like on earth, the closest thing you can think of is glass, right? But it looks thick and strong. Um and it's got like a weird blue purple sheen to it. And you see that it seems to glide as opposed to like there are no thrusters. You don't see like how the hell is this thing moving? How is it staying up? Right? Which is very disconcerting because it just looks like a weird kind of blob where the glass is shaped kind of undulating like waves, right? And you that's it. And it just looks like it's kind of just slowly moving towards us, but you really can't tell what's the front, what's the back, does it have thrusters, what does it run on? Because it's weird. Um, as it kind of comes and lands on the helipad, you see the surface looks smooth, right? It's got that undulating pattern of the glass, but there are no hinges, no cracks. It looks to be made out of one piece of whatever it is. And so she smiles at you guys and clicks another button. And then where there wasn't anything before, you see a line form and it open up. Now, what you can see the front to be, right? It is a small capsule like thing
more akin to what we would know ordinarily as like escape pods and stuff like that in sci-fi than to a spaceship, right? It was really only made for one person. And so it has a chair, and it's kind of oval, so it has all of like the weird tech, nothing that you guys would recognize, and it doesn't actually make audible sounds like the pew 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 of the tech, but wavelength you would definitely catch something from it. So akin to how we can't hear like certain like whale songs or certain animal calls, sort of like that. So you'd pick up that there was a sound, but we just can't actually hear it. So you'd feel the vibrations of it. Um, and she would get up and just kind of look around and be like, well, there is some space behind me, I suppose. Um, and yeah, it's like maybe like 3 feet of space to either side. Um, it's like the size of a small car, like a Fiat, right? If the seat, instead of being 2 seats in the front, there was just one in the middle. So there is like, a little bit, but like she said, it's not going to be very comfortable for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys pile in.
Can Mal fit in this?
I think you're about 6'6" now, and it's a
Damn.
tight fit.
I'm
Yeah,
just-
so
I
you'd
think-
have to sit on the ground like crisscross applesauce, but
yeah.
you would fit.
I think Wavelength is really, really thrown off by this. Like she has a 3 and mundane, she is like very jeans and t-shirts. And I think even the fact that it's like a sound like a frequency that she's not tapped into is really messing with her. And like she's very hesitant. Let's Mal get in first. It's kind of hanging back. You get a sense of like a different kind of anxiety than you're used to from her. Not like a mothering anxiety, but like a genuine fear almost. I don't know, like mechanically if this is anything, if it's like if it's a condition or if it's a sharing a vulnerability or something. But I think you're really seeing a lot of hesitance from
I
someone who
think
doesn't
that
normally
can
hesitate.
be counted as sharing a vulnerability because it's a moment in which you really allow the facade to break, right?
Yeah.
You're a hero right now, and for just a second, that non-heroic part bleeds out, and yeah, it'll be one of those for you.
Yeah. So I might need some coaxing.
Um,
It does. So something that my Kirby craft does have is called like chameleon plating. So I click a button and the outside glass like surface kind of shimmers and it looks to turn to liquid, and then it turns into metal, and the whole thing starts to look a little bit more like what she has seen in human sci-fi movies for a spacecraft to look like. So her best imitation from like a 50s movie of like a UFO or something. So now it looks more recognizable, she hopes, in your eyes and not as weird and alien. And she looks at you. She's like, uh, I won't drive very fast, I promise. Um, I don't think, well, I can help make you feel more comfortable, but I don't think how you'd feel about it. And she starts forming bubbles in her hand.
Um,
So like if
Actually,
she asking you like if you want, she can do the calm of emotions using her pheromones, but she wants to ask you first. She does want you to be comfortable though.
thanks for the offer. Um, Actually, maybe I could just have the candy.
Of course. And she reaches into her pocket and she grabs a handful, which she originally did not grab that many, or you don't think that Mal gave her that many. And you're realizing I'm gonna have to do inventory when I go back to the bodega because there's gonna be a lot more missing than there should be. and she brings out a handful and then just like thrusts them into your hand.
And I'll take them, and I have that thought, but I am also so overwhelmed. And I think as I start to board and kind of squeeze in, I'm so kind of preoccupied by the fear that I'll actually, as it's like closing up, like take my mask up a bit to pop a candy in, and it's probably the first time that you're seeing my face at this moment. And I'm not even doing it on purpose necessarily. I'm just so
You're
like
just so freaked out. Yeah, you're not even thinking about it. Love it, love it. Yeah, she
Really
won't
good.
she won't say anything.
Yeah, so there's this moment of accidental self revealing oneself, one's secret identity. This otherworldly ship has come to take us up into just shy of leaving our atmosphere, and you guys slowly thrum up in a sound that only few can hear, as it sounds like the kind of soft, distant sounds of a siren. And you guys kind of coast upwards into what is this large asteroid, and it has no clear defenses and has a very clear, like, upon looking at it this closely, has a very clear area for like a landing platform because people visit, like these friends with other heroes. And so you guys arrive and touch base.
As we step out of it, she'll turn around, click another button. The paint, like the outside will shimmer, but this time it goes invisible.
Oh, cool.
And then,
When
all
Mal
right.
when Mal is outside as Ianthe is closing up the ship, Mal will like look down at Wavelength and just be like, "You okay?"
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't that bad. Thanks
No.
for letting me squeeze in next to you.
Yeah,
Whew.
of course. I mean,
Yeah.
like I've told others before, there's so much to learn. You'll be fine.
It's gonna be a cool story. Okay, let's hope we don't die. Okay.
And yeah,
Odd
you
place.
guys. What was that?
Yeah, I was gonna say just an odd place for a vacation home.
Very,
Then she just
very
starts
odd.
walking towards it.
Yeah, and there's this kind of towering entrance. And once inside, it is still made of the same kind of charcoaly, like colored stone, but in the interior is that of advanced technology. It's almost like a fancy room made of marble, right? It's advanced. It's inlaid with advanced technology, and it is just this like cavernous sanctum. And you do see the hero's soul just kind of off in the distance, sitting down, probably like
Doing
in
Sudoku.
yeah, no, absolutely glasses on, just doing like word
Just
puzzles,
like playing
Sudokus.
chess with himself.
Yeah, it has that was has so like piles of like newspapers
Yeah.
and Sudoku books that are clearly completed.
Yeah. A 5,000 piece puzzle set
Yeah,
that's like halfway completed.
yeah, and you guys kind of walk in and you just hear like the yes,
Hi.
Who's talking? Oh, now
Hi.
it's talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Go
Hey,
ahead.
soul.
hello.
Hi.
What do you need?
Nice
I'm
to
not
meet you.
Sol. I'm Juan.
Juan.
Yes,
Oh, hi, Juan.
Juan
Well,
Juarez. Yes, that's who I am. That's the name my parents
Juan.
gave me. I'm not a hero. I'm not Sol. You're in my
Wait a
home.
minute. Wait a minute. So, like, does this person look
Does he
like the
look?
hero
Yeah.
soul?
Yeah.
He's
Okay,
in
but he's
Clark
just
Kent
going,
mode. He has the glasses on. He's in
got
Clark
it.
Kent mode.
And it's like, okay, I mean, we were just trying to be respectful. We didn't know that you were comfortable with us using your given name here, but oh, nice to
That's
meet
the
you,
only
Juan.
name I have.
Ah, okay. Wow. Wow. He's oh,
Hi, I'm yeah, I'm Kara. Carolina.
Right. Wavelength. Yes, that's what you call yourself.
I thought we were using. Oh, we're not using our. Oh, okay.
I guess it only applies to him.
Okay, just kidding. I'm wavelength. Yeah.
You can call
And
yourself whatever you'd like.
what would a person like yourself be doing on an asteroid while the world is crashing?
Well, I'm currently completing my 13 millionth Sudoku. I'm running out of numbers, I think.
Hmm.
It's getting up there.
Running out of numbers. I mean, isn't Sudoku just like 1 through 10, like 1 through
It's
9?
but there's relative patterns, and I'm getting to the point where I've hit almost every relative pattern. It's excruciating.
You start to
Yeah.
recognize them. Yes.
Yeah, it's going a little
Um,
too quickly now.
So,
Have you not noticed?
Juan, how did you end up here by yourself then?
Oh, I flew up here when I retired, and now I live here forever.
Oh, you
Yeah,
retired.
I think it was by choice. So you retired, but you didn't tell anyone that you retired. So we're just been surviving and existing under the assumption that you are just off world, and for the past 3
Coming
weeks.
back.
Well, so as I'm off world, people will figure out how to deal with it without me. And then I'm going to be dead off world, and then the news will reach everybody in about 2 to 3 months, and I will have been dead for however long, and then I will no
What?
longer be needed.
That's
How do
a
you know? 2 or 3 months. What's happening in 2 or 3 months? I'm
I think
confused.
He's going to fake his death
yes, he's going to fake his death. So that's
so
a
that he
really
doesn't have to come back.
yeah, that's a really
Yes,
interesting
yeah.
way to handle the situation. Some would even say a really what's the word? Irresponsible
Cowardly?
way to handle the situation. Um, wow. That's crazy.
That's not
Wow.
very
I'm
heroic of you, I
no,
suppose.
it's not. It's not heroic of me at all.
You're different than I
Um,
expected you to be.
What did you
Yes.
expect?
I don't know.
You know.
Not this.
Not this.
Have you heard about what's happening? Like, do you see the floating thing right
Yes, no, absolutely. I've heard it all. I heard you guys talk to my colleague. I heard you guys get in the ship and come up here. I hear it all the time, forever.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. I
You're just
Um,
over it?
I'm so
So-
I
sorry.
have.
There's a part of me that's understanding why my parents are the way they are just by talking to you.
So absolutely. And I feel as though you've come here with your mind made up. And if you're willing to be open minded and listen to what I have to say, I willingly tell you. Or you can stay a little, do some word puzzles, leave when you feel like it. There's a lot of heroes. You're 3
Well,
heroes. Why am I needed? Right?
Like, they
you see,
specifically
you are
asked
the
for you.
crux of the problem. Yes. But I suppose we can hear you out first.
Oh,
Yeah.
you want to listen? You guys want? Sorry, sometimes heroic types come in a little bullheaded.
No, I'm a good listener.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, okay. And then Mal
Yeah.
just sort of like, "Oh, all
Okay.
right,
Yeah.
all right, well,
It's gonna
I'll
take a
shut up."
second.
Are there
No, no.
snacks? No.
Oh yes, there's plenty of snacks. Have whatever you'd like. I plan to be up here for up until probably Thanksgiving when I go visit my parents, and then come back up here.
Your parents in Kansas.
Yes.
Let's
So,
listen to a story. What's up?
well, I'm sure you feel the same way, but why am I going above and beyond for people who can't even take care of themselves? They don't appreciate us. We're othered. We're othered kind of constantly. Um, we're looked at as different and wrong, and sure they slap super on it sometimes, but it doesn't really feel that way. And I've been choosing to be good this whole time, and no one else does. And I hear it, and I hear it all the time, and it's tiresome. And if this planet that I live on, that I grew up on, exploded in an instant, the only survivor left would be me. And and I constantly prevent that. And yet I'm still consistently so othered. There's why must I be the exception? It doesn't make sense to me, and I'm retiring. I'm gonna live the way they live. Do my own thing, as it were. I've saved up a nice bit of money, and I will be doing that for the remainder because, well, I mean, you see that fella down there's yelling about me or being down there destroying stuff, and I don't want to do it anymore. I'm tired of being on the outside and still having to do better and be exceptional than everybody else who just gets to be mundane and complain. I'm sorry if that sounds unheroic.
Even heroes have to rest sometime, right?
Right, and heroes die, so I'm dead.
So, follow-up question.
Sure.
What should we do about this whole thing?
I mean,
Uh,
I know what we can do. Here's what we can do. I can offer a suggestion, wavelength. Um, we can just give the coordinates to Absalom, and then they
Oh,
can deal with it. I mean, Soul doesn't want to be responsible for anything anymore, and he's being searched for. So if the whole entire issue can be resolved by
We want to
just,
turn him in.
I mean, if the
that's
entire issue, the entire issue can be resolved by just saying like, "Hey, Absalom, Soul's over there. He doesn't want to deal with this anymore. So like, you can go talk to him if you want, and they can
yeah.
duke it out." Here's the thing, Soul. It takes a lot of balls to do what you're doing. I respect that. I respect the choice to say, I'm walking away from this because this isn't good for me. However, it's really disappointing knowing that you would not take any precautions, at least for anyone who might be coming on your heels. You can go away, you can just live your life. Again, very respectable choice. You can take care of you. But you walked into this. You created this for yourself. You became a superhero. And it got to be too much. So you're just going to walk out of it and not tell anyone and not explain.
Yes.
You
I
could,
think the problem isn't you doing what you wish. Everyone knows I live my life the same way. That's why I'm here and not with my family. I think the problem is leaving everybody to think you're going to come back. That's not very nice. I feel you should tell them.
so I'll go ahead and let you guys do a group effort here and to do a savior role. You guys can pick who's doing it, and then the way it'll work is the person you pick will roll the 2 die, and then you will all add your savior to whatever the roll is.
damn, guys,
Love it.
roll high because I got a -1.
I don't.
Yeah, I can
oh,
do.
God.
I have a +1 in Savior, and I think I can also.
I have a 0. I don't have
Um,
a plus nothing, so. But
I get a +1, and then I'm trying to think about how the mask thing works because it says choose a label you try to embody when you wear the mask. Savior. Once per session, you can affirm your heroic identity to switch your mundane to your masked label. So I think I can switch my mundane
to your
to
savior.
Savior.
That's pretty cool.
Just roll, which is a
So,
3. So 3.
There is something else that she does want to say to him. And she
Go
looks
for
at
it.
him and she's like,
and I believe we can come to an agreement of sorts if you really don't wish to do this anymore. You come with us and help us get rid of this pesky robot man. Right? And maybe that'll change your mind and you decide you do want to. You enjoy it. But if it doesn't, I will give you safe passage to my land. They will take care of you. You will be free to live your life like this. But, you know, better. Definitely better than this. But you have to tell the people you're going away. You can't leave them just hoping you'll come back when you won't.
If, just to be clear, if they think I've just gone away, they will always hope I come back, hence the plan to announce my death soon. I do appreciate your offer, and I'm currently thinking it over. Thank you. And so, yeah, you guys can make those rolls, or the roll.
Right. And then
Come
make the
on,
roll.
Heather.
Here we go.
Oh,
Ooh.
+1 for me. Great.
Amazing.
I'll give you the plus. I will give that +1 to wavelength then. Since they are
That's
doing
good.
it.
That's good. I'm gonna need it. Okay. So this is the 5 plus 3 is 8 plus that 1 is 9.
9.
So
So
we're at a
that
9, which is a conditional success,
yes,
right?
that is a
And
success.
I think just to flavor this a little, since I'm using the mundane as savior, is I think, I think this is really just a lot of what he said resonated, even though she's 18, right? Like a lot of what he said resonated with her. And I think she walks up to him, and if he allows, she'll just take his hand and she'll say, I might be really young, and I get what it's like to just want everything to stop and for everybody to stop needing you. But I think part of the reason why you didn't just leave and why we keep going, love.
Yeah, so with a 9, you guys hit him with that, right? You've all come at him with your points, and it is a conditional success. And so he kind of pauses for a moment. It's always the younger ones that have such grand ideas. Okay, here's my deal. If you guys can knock me on my ass, I'll go back and fix the problem. I'll help you out.
Oh my God.
But if you can't, you leave. Deal?
I feel like I've already taken off. Like I feel like the second he says that, I just
All right, Juan
Wait,
Juarez.
did you
let's
leave
see.
us? What?
no, like as in to like start like
Oh, like surround
like
him?
trip him or something, you know?
Yeah.
All
So
right,
let's go
let's
ahead.
do it.
And so the first thing he's going to do is, so I'm gonna need everyone to make your own personal I'll have it be, let me think. I'll probably have it be your own personal savior role, unless you can justify another thing. But what is gonna happen is he stands up straight, and I think it's, you recognize very quickly, like, oh, he's been fully suppressing and compressing himself.
Yeah.
And he just stomps a little bit, and the entirety of the place. And he's like, okay. And so everyone needs to make their savior roll, and if they
Okay.
don't succeed, they're going to be feared.
Okay.
Oh.
Can I say instead of savior, I'd like to use my physics. What physics? Bull move. Which when I unleash my unleash my power to barrel through an insurmountable barrier, which Malice seeing this, the hero soul as the insurmountable barrier that he is. I can roll plus danger instead of freak. But can I just do plus danger?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
so well flavored.
yeah.
I rolled a 12.
Oh, very good. Surprisingly solid.
Yeah, I rolled a 11.
Amazing.
2
You guys are doing so
4s
good.
plus 3.
7.
7. Okay. So the two of you, stalwart, you're here for a job. I think there's the only reason that it's not a full success on your end, Ianthe, is that you were kind of kinning him to yourself, right? Like, we're aliens, you can come live on my planet. And then suddenly he does this, and it almost puts him in a completely different, like, separate degree of you, right? It's just like, oh, like he's just a little bit different than the people on my planet, than myself, in the sense that he is this overwhelming, like, presence. And so you're not going to be feared, but you are going to act last in of the group.
Got it.
And so so the way it's going to work is he's obviously not outright fighting you guys. He's going to let you guys take your round, and then he's going to take his round. So I'll let the other two decide who's going to go ahead and attempt to make their first move, or if you guys want to try to figure out a team maneuver, we can do that.
I feel like maybe a
Combo
team
move.
maneuver. Yeah, like maybe something
Yeah.
that like Mal and I have done before. Like I had envisioned kind of taking off to like start like surrounding him and kind of
Mhm.
overwhelm him, and then I feel like you like when he's like, you know what, you just like kind of come in or
Yeah.
something like that.
Mal, yeah, I feel like when that is happening, so Wavelength is using this disorienting whirlwind of themselves, creating this sort of barrier around them, and Mal is within this barrier along with Soul in front of them and Siren beside them. Mal's powers activate, their hair glows with this fire, and as they come forward towards Soul in that whirlwind of wavelengths, distracting move, they essentially fake to one side, fake to another, and then uppercut Soul in the jaw.
All right, so go ahead and roll. So I will allow you to roll it with. You can add an additional +1 to whatever you get, and then he is going to roll his against you.
Okay.
This is just Mal rolling, right? I'm just like the +1.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And then
And
I'll let you make
I'm
action as well afterwards.
I'm just rolling straight for this attack.
Yeah, you can roll and then add your attack, your personal attack roll, which I think we
Your
decided
danger.
was danger.
Danger, yeah. Ooh, that
Okay.
was okay. So
So I'll let you know he's at an 11. So you're gonna have to either meet an 11 or surpass an 11.
not great. Did
Oh
not.
no.
Because it was I rolled 2 2s. Plus 1 is a 5, and plus a 3 is 8. So
Yeah,
just
so
an 8.
you
Yeah.
weave, and I think you're like, we're speed blitzing him, we're weaving on
Yeah.
him, and then you see that he is fully tracking your speedster running around him, and then
Yeah.
you go for the uppercut, and it connects, and then it's like hitting a metal wall.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, wow, I was not paying attention. I apologize." And then we're gonna go ahead and go
Okay.
to.
All right. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna go to our speedster, and I'm gonna go ahead and let Wavelength attempt to make their move, which
Oh
I'll
my
also give a
God.
if
Ianthe's
Bullfox.
pissed, by the way.
What was that?
Yeah.
Ianthe's pissed off, by the way.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I gave him like access to my home and I'm doing these nice things for him.
Okay.
And his answer is violence. Like, she's mad. She's so mad.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if our Bullfox
Ooh.
can give me a reason that they can aid Wavelength, I'll allow Wavelength to get a
Yeah.
+1 as well.
I think what is wavelength? What is their attack gonna look like? See how I can aid.
I mean, it's so interesting because my character is built as more of the support, defense, whatever. So, like, the
Yeah.
idea of the directly engage a threat is not usually my thing. So, I'm actually I was almost thinking of more of like a 1-2 punch, literally, kind of from what you did, of like, when you go to do this, I then kind of like roll into his like legs to kind of like,
Oh,
that's what he said.
knock him
Yeah, that's
down.
what he said. That's what he said, knock him down. So kind of like full like barrel roll into like the backs of his knees is kind of what I'm
Yeah. He did say we can get him on his butt,
thinking.
knock him down.
Try to sweep the legs.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think
So
the
honestly,
way,
your punch kind of helps innately when you do that. So
yeah. I think the way that Mallory helps is by essentially I think Mallory's just going to roar in Soul's face like this, like rage and anger, and just like
To distract him.
yeah, to
Yeah.
distract him.
It's just like this burst of like flame and rage,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh!" And then we're gonna go
Hot
ahead
in
and go
here.
for that. So
I love how much of a dad this dude is. It's
He
like, whoa
is.
there, partner. Like,
whoa, a lot of anger, a lot of heat.
All right, buddy.
And
Right.
Wavelength,
Buckio.
go ahead and roll whatever stat you think you would use for this attack.
I feel like
Um,
feels like it has to be danger because I'm like
Okay.
genuinely trying to sweep them. So which is normally a 0, so this will be a +1 with
Okay.
my
yeah.
hey, big money, big money. Oh, that's not it. That's gonna be a 7. So conditional.
He got
Damn.
a 12 this time.
Oh,
And you roll towards him, and he just lightly hovers above you. And I think it's just that you're going too fast for your own good. That you just straight under him, just completely missing his ankles, and then he just touches back down on the ground. He's like, "Oh, almost got me."
at least I didn't fail because I probably would have knocked you over, Mel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll go ahead and go to Siren, our other
Let's go,
hero.
Siren, our
and
last
see what
girl.
Siren's gonna
Yeah,
try
so
to
she
do.
reacted last, right?
Yes.
And she's like pissed. And so she looks, and you two are like, do your thing. And then you hear in like she's hovering, right? And then you hear in your minds, just you two, duck. And then obviously not bothering to tell him, obviously. And as soon as you guys drop to the ground, a wave of like telekinetic energy just shoots out of her. Because she has mind blast ability. That's part of her like telepathy and all of that kind of thing. And so she shoots a wave of telekinetic energy towards him to try to like push him back or like fling him back and see if she can get him on his ass that way.
Perfect. So the
And
way I'm gonna do this is that you're acting last because you had been irritated and kind of been thrown off by his actions. And the other two are already engaging in him. And so I think he has kind of stopped paying attention because there's two people fully engaging him. And I think the one thing you have going for you is that you're not a metahuman. You are not a earthling. And so you're not someone that he has a ton of information on. And so I'm going to go ahead and give you the stacked pluses from them because they've both failed, but they're on him. And I'll give you a +2 to whatever you roll, and he's going to roll against it.
Yeah, let's
Shit.
go.
All right. So would I be rolling
Yes.
freak or superior for this?
I will let you roll what you feel you would use, whatever if you can justify it to me. Are you trying to like, you are not above us for superior, or is it more like mind blast? Like,
Yeah, because her thing was like like in her mind, it's like you give what you take type of thing. And it's like when you're nice to somebody, you're supposed to be nice back. And so she's like, you are not a hero. You're just a petty, sad person. And you're not invited to my house anymore. And so she's going to roll superior.
Okay, perfect. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you know right now. It's on his end. It's a 9 to beat. This is his lowest
Okay.
roll
You
so
got this.
far.
So
You
I
got
do have
this.
a +2 to superior and then a +2 from
Okay.
them. So we're already at a 4, baby.
Yeah,
I
let's
just have to get a
go.
1.
Yeah. Here we go.
I'm
Here we
gonna roll
go.
1 out of dice for 1 out of 10 for
Lowest thing you
suspense.
gotta roll is a 5.
That is a 5 on the first dice. So I made that 9. And then to see what it
Yay!
is, I got a 2 on the second dice. So that is 9, 10, 11.
Perfect. And so that is a full success. There's no complications. And I think that the two of our earthlings here know that the weakest point for him is his mind, right? As a hero, he's seen as invincible and truly he's pretty close to it. But he doesn't have mind powers. He doesn't have any telekinetics, he doesn't do anything. Everything he does is kind of a feat of his alien physiology. And so he's very
Physical
powerful,
stuff.
very strong. He can fly, and he is very fortified. But this is one of the few things that if you catch him on it and he's not paying attention or he's focusing on other things, you can hurt him. And so I think your two teammates who swung at him, went for his feet, kind of hear you yell duck. One of them's kind of already on the floor,
I
and
just like grab your feet, Mal, and just like pull you down.
grabs, yank you. I think
Yeah.
you guys both kind of
Yank.
topple forward and maybe even grab his ankles to the point of he just gets a quick burst of just psychic energy and it just flattens him for a moment, like just back flat on the ground. And he just lays there for a second. And once again, he's in like pajamas. Like he's wearing his glasses, he's in like sweats and like a sweater, and he's like, okay. And he like flies back up. He's like, you got me. I didn't know you had mind powers. You should have let me know you had mind powers, but I'll take it. That's on me. Let's go do the thing you guys want to do. I'll go be the. Give me a second. And he like flies out and quickly comes back out, fully changed, like a full like cape and like spandex to like outfit.
Yeah.
I
She's
could do
just
that too.
glowering at him now. She's
The
just
quick
like,
Yeah.
change.
but it looks like a kid when they're like
Yeah.
that. She's just looking at him like,
Mal's just like, well, great. Let's let's head out, Juan Juarez.
You can call me Soul right now.
No, I'm calling you
No,
Juan from now
no,
on.
you can't walk that back, man.
Yeah,
you know,
That's
no.
who you are now.
You
That's
can't make
who
that
it is.
invitation and then take that back.
you don't get a superhero name anymore.
I'm in the suit. I'm in the suit.
Yeah,
Call
but
me Soul.
superheroes don't help people conditionally or on conditions. So you're just a person with powers. One.
I just worry that those that are othered like us are getting taken advantage of. But maybe I'm cynical. Are you guys gonna meet me there, or would you like me to fly you? Because your doohickey
Ooh.
takes a second.
Yeah, uppies. Let's go.
Uppies is crazy. You're 6'7". I don't know if I can pick you up.
Yes, I will take wavelength then.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to the one new mode of transportation a day rule. I'm gonna go back in the potty thing.
Uppy. I'm gonna go and fly. We have 2 for Angie, 2 plus 1s for a later roll.
Oh,
With a
And
I
we
love the
have
message with that. Cyrus
Yes.
loves you.
That's
Cyrus
my
loves you.
best friend.
How cute.
yeah, and so you guys get into your mode of transportation, and as it thrums off, you feel it pick up a bit of speed as he just kind of pushes it from behind to expedite the touching back down at the city of Halcyon. And you guys get down to the same chaos that's been going on, and you guys land, and he's like, "Okay, take point. Tell me what to do."
Well, we have to find Absalom.
Right.
go to the tower.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go to his tower. I'm sure it's at the center of that floating island there. So
Oh yeah. Could we maybe just like walk it back and say that like we flew to the floating
We
area?
landed
totally.
on the floating island
Yeah,
as opposed
absolutely.
to. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
we would have known to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well,
100%.
do your
Also,
job
is-
now.
Is this place like full of these robots like
Yeah.
like Breath of the Wild style?
Pretty close.
Oh, I
boy.
hated those. That was awful.
Yeah, so
The
he's like,
music
all right.
starts. We're like, shit.
Uh, well, do we want to divide and conquer, or would we like to um, just get up there and see what we can do? Because
Hey, Siren, do you think you could maybe like telepathically send out like a hey, we're here. We got your guy, Juan.
If I get close enough, I can let him know. But we'd have to make it at least to the foot of the tower. There's
Okay.
too many mines around. I didn't know I could feel robotic ones, and I don't like it.
Mm. Well,
But in the meantime, I will keep an eye out for any other innocent people. I suppose you guys, Mr. Juan, can break us a way through the robots.
yeah. Really quickly before we get there,
Crux
um,
fingers.
Absalon's a bit of a degenerate, and I do fear that he will attempt to use, well, as he is already, he will attempt to use civilians against us. How do we suppose we combat that?
I mean, we could try to evacuate the area. I could coordinate on that. That's a
You're
good.
You are
use of
very
my skills.
fast. You'd
Yes,
be
you are
able to
quite
get
fast.
around the whole place and let them know.
What if uh I could run around and tell people and maybe once you're done talking Siren, you could come calm them down too.
Yeah.
I would say we could fly
Actually,
them. That might take a while.
here. And I'm going to use my second ability, Alien Tech, to go ahead, and it looks like a glass sort of bulbous thing, but it has a little place for you to like put your mouth on, right? And she puts her hand to it and puts her mouth on it and blows into it, and you see little bubbles start to form inside of this glass ball, right? And then she hands it to you. She's like, "Here, you will have to be careful not to touch them yourself, I suppose, but just blow a little bit and they'll float out. I hope it's enough. I don't know how many people are here,
We could
but
we could
could always,
also
yes,
but we could also if wavelength focuses on getting folks out, and then Siren, you can help with calming anyone that needs to be calmed. Soul and I, oh, sorry, Juan and I can focus on fighting off uh, any of the robots who might get in the way of the operation.
oh, then I suppose I shall go with you. I can sense if there are people under the rubble and hiding in houses. I will give you this anyways, seeing as
Oh,
how there are probably a lot of people.
this is gonna be
So,
great.
So as you guys have made this plan, and the plan begins to kick off, and Soul and Bullfox kind of like pretty quickly, like robots start to notice you. They come your way, and Soul and
Yeah.
Bullfox both just obliterate a robot each.
Team up.
Yeah, they're super powered, super strong. There's then a like, and you all kind of feel it is, you've brought me my hero. Thank you.
My hero.
And that's where I end the episode. And that's it. The my hero was really the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so so you've brought me him, and you just hear, eliminate them all, please. And you see all of the robots begin, and so wavelength, as you've begun doing your speedster thing, you see robots are targeting people.
Oh.
And along with that, you guys hear like the as a floating, I'm hard pressed to say flying, but a floating Absalon comes down holding a scepter of sorts. It's like wooden and twisted, and you see that that's where the shocks of electricity are coming from, as his body's contorted a bit in a incredibly unnatural way. You see parts of him have become mechanical, and then you see that inside of the tip of the wooden stave almost is just this pulsing electricity that is identical to light bursts electricity.
Oh, oof.
So the way we're going to do this, you guys have kind of delegated the way you're going to do it. You can change up your play if you want to. But pretty much each round is going to be rescuing, fighting, and then obviously I'll allow aid for from Siren, because Siren is kind of there to relegate like mentally, like they're like using pheromones to calm people down or to support in the fight, depending. Due to the fact that all of the robots are attacking everybody, Juan is going to help the speedster begin evacuating people. Juan is fast enough that he will. So the way it's going to work is he's just going to have split attention. So he's going to have negatives on all of his rolls. So he's now, I would say, at your guys' level. So he can't just obliterate one problem and obliterate another problem. His attention is split, supporting both teams. So there's an evac team, and then there's the combat team. So we can go ahead and start that if you'd like.
So I feel like I'm going to look at Siren and say, I'll be back when I run out. You do whatever you feel like you got to do. And I would like to basically use this as a bubble machine. Like, I'm thinking if I'm running and the wind, like it almost becomes like a stream of little bubbles that are just, and I'm running around being like, go that way,
Amazing. Okay. So
like a
for
bubble gun?
Because
like a bubble gun.
Because we got a donation for a reuse ability. We got 2 of those. So for one of them, I'm gonna have that go ahead and get reuse. So we're gonna be able to double the amount of people. The way it's gonna work is we'll do the typical Siren's typical bubbling aspect and like typical calming aspect, but we're gonna go ahead and have it be a +3 to calming everyone down with Siren's ability that they use, which I don't recall which one you use, Siren.
The pheromone?
Yeah. And so you will be giving wavelength +3 on the rescue attempts.
Nice. Hashtag teamwork.
Yeah.
And I'll roll with my savior because I'm defending here.
So we'll start with the saving portion. And so okay, so there's a success from Juan, and then we'll see what
I rolled a 9 + 4, so 13.
So that's 2 successes. You guys begin clearing people out. I think your level of speed you're hitting, I mean, with a 13, that's insane. You guys are hitting crazy numbers now, and I think you're in the heat of like, you're with like one of the best heroes. You're facing a real villain. It's this moment of like digging deep, and you run so fast.
Feel like a true superhero.
Yes, and again, your violation of physics again comes into play as you run so quickly with maybe like holding 3 of them because they get lighter the faster you move, and you run down the air, which is a pretty simple feat for a speedster, and then run back up the air back onto the island, almost as if you were flying. You're hitting levels of speed that you're just bouncing around the map. And Soul grabs a couple of people and flies them off and flies back in time for Bullfox and him to make attacks against
Yeah.
this kind of floating, electrified robot being person.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He rolled really poorly.
I rolled an 8.
Okay, you do get a +1.
Oh yeah,
From
I have the I'm gonna use the +2s that came in from
Okay.
Mhm.
from that one thing. So yes, I'm gonna do so it's gonna be a 10.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you rolled better than Soul on this one, and I think you
Mhm.
see Juan Soul is a little distracted by the power being used against him. As you would know, that's a power of his friend, and he
Mhm.
goes for a punch. And I think it lands, but you would like, you're a seasoned fighter. You fought. You see he leaves himself open, just kind of like focusing too
Yeah.
much on something, and he
I
gets
think I want to try what Mom wants to try. So like they jump at Absalom, but I think they're gonna punch, but also try and get the staff out of their hand.
okay.
Mm.
Do you have a move you'd like to use for that, or would it? So
I for let's see. Um, Probably once again the physics. What physics? Because Absalom is like in the air, right?
yes.
So it's like this uh use of like their strength to just bodily throw themselves at Absalom.
Uh-huh.
Again and unleashing their power. This comet of fire and rage, going for this loser's face, and then also with their body almost kind of tackling the arm to bring
Mhm.
to they can't fly, so it would just like tackle the arm to try and get the staff to the ground.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hit
So
them.
you do that, and you're able to use you're able to swap one of your abilities when you use the
Yeah, the
whoa.
danger. So
Yeah.
yeah, which I would you like me to roll again?
No, you're already at a
Got it.
10. You can just add your
Mhm.
danger to it if you'd like.
I already had.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So a 10 is a critical success.
Mm.
You're able to grab onto him. He rolled decently, but not well enough to prevent this from happening as you
Yeah.
rend it from his hand.
Mhm.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
You're a meta being, right? You were born with
Mhm.
powers. You were born of Earth, whether it's a mutate, a mutant. You were born this way.
Yeah.
As you grab it and begin falling, you start to feel like a. And so I
Oh.
need you to
Oh
roll.
no.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. I need you to go ahead and roll a freak for me, because this is about your meta abilities and your ability to like
Wow.
really dig in on the fact that you're a freak and this is your meta ability.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Let's see. I have a 1 in freak. Ooh, not bad. Okay, so that's a 9 because the 6 is 2 is 8 plus 1 is a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you land and you feel it trying to kind of absorb your meta ability, and you even
Yeah.
see your like flames kind of lapping
Ah,
as they're getting
Oh,
pulled.
yeah.
That's so
And then we'll
scary.
then go to
Yeah.
Siren, who's watching your friend kind of get the flames pulled off of their body. Um, Siren, what do you do?
So we, right, I was using my telepathy to sense as many people as I could, using my flight to get to them, right? Um, I fly to where, because the minds of people that I've entered before, right, not just sensing them but entered, right, I've talked to them in their minds before,
Mhm.
so I'd be able to like know this is their mind out of the sea of like
Right.
minds. So I'd go to them and be like, here, even though she hasn't run out, I would refill the the little bubble contraption,
Mhm.
um and fly towards Mal, right? Because she's remembering now that's what he does. He takes heroes' powers, like my friend, right? Like, shit. And she was hoping it would only be Juan fighting him, right? But like, it wasn't. So she flies to Mal, and like the first thing would be to like ask her, like, are you okay? Oh, I think she froze. Is that me? Mallory?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
Ianthe flew over to you
Uh-huh.
and asked you if you were okay.
Yeah, I think Ianthe's just sort of like in that moment as you arrive to them, she dropped the scepter. The scepter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She just immediately dropped it. It was just kind of like, that's, yeah, don't mess with that. Don't touch that.
Do I? Well, it's probably more dangerous for you than it is for me. Do you want me to break it? I don't.
Maybe there's a way to contain it, but and then like looks up at where Soul and Absalom are probably fighting. It's like, I don't know if right now it's a best time
Well,
to discuss
he
that.
did want to use it to take Juan's powers,
Oh,
and without it, he might not be able to. It seems the powers were coming from the scepter. Did it
can
not?
you break it?
I can try.
Where's
I feel like
Wavelength?
I was gonna say I feel like I can hear this
Yeah.
because and you just hear break it, stop talking to you, break it.
I break it then. Let's go.
All right. So, without touching it, she's just going to be like, "Please do step back," to Mallory, and then she's going to step back as well, and she is going to try to like mind blast it so that she doesn't have to touch it
Nice.
to see if she can snap it in half.
All right, go ahead and give me that roll. You do get a +1 from the previous donation. All of you got an additional +1 from earlier.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
this
on
is your
this
first
one-
roll since then.
Yeah, I'm gonna use freak instead of superior on
Okay.
this one. It is less of a plus, but I think it,
It makes
fits
sense.
better.
Makes
Yeah, it
sense,
makes sense.
yeah.
So we'll hope. Ugh, okay, that's okay. I saw a 3 and I freaked out. The second one was a 6.
Oh,
And I
wonderful.
just have a +1 though. So that's 9, 10. And I don't know, did we have extra bonuses?
Yeah, you had, so all of you got an
Yeah.
additional +1 donated. And I don't believe you
Thank you
used
for
yours
your
yet.
donations. Yay, that's an 11.
Yeah.
Amazing. So an 11 is a success without a hitch. And this thing shatters and splinters, and as it does, the electricity coursing through above you and through the island all kind of immediately give, and you see Absalom and then start to fall as he's lost any meta ability he's stolen from that thing. And
You
it just kind
hear
of
Mallory hears in her head, do I catch him?
I was gonna say, can I zoom in and try to
how do you guys who does anyone attempt to catch him, and how do you do it? So I know that our speedster's running that way.
Ooh, we're catching like Absalom who's falling from the sky.
He's
Right?
falling off the sky. Siren or Ianthe was just going to like fly over to him and like grab his coat.
Yeah. I mean, Mal can like try and grab it. I mean, they're like what, 7 feet tall now?
I think we said 8. I think we were at 8 feet.
Yeah, like 8 feet tall. Yeah, I easily just like,
You're
ooh,
just Godzilla.
like look
You're
at
just
this,
Godzilla
look at
people.
this little guy now.
which is
Um,
really for the best, because I mean, just because I can make it there in time doesn't mean that I can actually catch a falling body successfully.
oh,
Like
yeah. So I think what exactly happens is, so the scepter has been broken, and Siren kind of turns and starts like going that way to slow him down. And I think you grab him by the back of the shirt, but he's maybe heavier or was falling faster than you anticipated, and you a little bit faster than you intended. And then your friend Bullfox jumps up and catches kind of the both of you. Like you could almost like cradle him into Bullfox's arms, and then you see Wavelength moving way too fast where he would have landed, and like stops a comfortable like 20 feet behind where like the catch would have occurred. And there's not a doubt in any of your minds that if that catch was made, that there may or may not have been some severe injuries occurring.
Some broken bones.
Oh, 100%. Some Gwen Stacy treatment, you know?
Yeah.
No.
And
And so,
You're so messed up
Mel-
for that.
Mal is there just like, hey, long time no see.
I was totally gonna, but thank you for doing that. you know.
unhand me. And he's like trying to like get away, but
Unhand me, you wench. It's like,
he's smaller than you,
yeah.
than your actual height, your original stand
Yeah.
height. He's smaller than you. He's frail, and you feel now he's lost any additional strength he may have had in any
Yeah.
capacity. So even the strength of just the fact that he's an adult, he's
Mhm.
so weak. He's
Yeah.
baby Voldemorting it right now. He's baby Voldemort.
Yeah.
Ooh, hand me.
Yeah.
And
Like you're so wrinkly.
Yeah.
and then
Where-
he's
Juan
like,
would
I-
hear
I wanna-
Juan would hear in his head, well, this is your nemesis after all.
he like flies down. He's like, please don't do that. It makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, did you talk to him? Yeah, it's weird, right? It's weird, but also helpful.
Well, so
Yeah.
how about we land this thing? Because if I know him, we've got about 5 seconds until it, and then you guys hear like the
Oh. God.
as the jets just, and you see all the robots stop, and it just
What is the point? What is the point? And like I think Mallory's just gonna be like holding him by like the scruff. And like, why? What is the point? Like,
we will all die. Everyone will die. He's just so weak and so tired.
Well,
what happened?
Juan,
What happened to
do
you?
something.
You weren't like this.
His arms are like flailing. Yeah, so Juan's standing, so you guys are all falling together, and Juan's like, hey, bad timing. I've been out of practice. And it's you guys are falling, and he's like,
Dumb.
and I can't guarantee that I'm gonna catch it. Can I just get a little support? Just a little
What do you
support.
need?
ah,
So
Well,
I think you gotta fly Mal down, and Mal.
I
can
like that
muscle it.
idea. We've got you guys can one of you can fly. I can fly. He like looks over there, he's like, we're getting close to the edge.
Oh my god. Let's just do this.
Yeah, let's see if we can do it. Fingers crossed. Because I won't die if it lands on me. And he like
Okay. Well,
You're gonna be great. You're gonna be great.
okay.
yeah.
Gonna be great.
I am gonna let you guys know. He would normally roll his savior roll for something like this, right? It's the comic book saving moment. He currently has a -3 to savior.
Wow.
Oh no.
And I have a
Crazy does.
-1.
So
Oh.
you
I have
guys,
0.
I believe, do have one additional reuse of an ability because we got 2 of those. We've only used 1
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
extra bubbles. So we have the 1 additional use of one of your abilities, and he has a -3. So I'll roll his really quickly and give you the number. Oh, hold on.
Oh, 2 6s. Let's go.
So he got a 9, which is a
Wow.
conditional success. If you guys are able to get a conditional success or above, you guys stop it no conditions, or you stop
Okay.
it with conditions. So we'll see what we get.
Okay.
okay.
Foul.
So, um,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
so who, because she can fly herself down, right? And
Mm.
she's planning on using her mind blasts in a way to kind of like push up against like it falling to
Right.
give him a little bit of help in the
Okay.
weight of it, right?
Mhm.
But who cannot get down there?
Mal cannot get down. Yeah.
I have an idea.
What's your idea
Can
first
I-
before I tell you guys my idea?
Can I fly your ship thingy?
That was
and
gonna
Mal
be my
can stand
idea.
on top of it. Mal can stand on
That was
top
gonna
of
be
it
my idea. So
and push up.
with my ability, Kirby Craft, strengths, chameleon plating, right? It also has weaponry. And I can telepathically communicate with it, which is my remote. I think she finds machines weird, so no. But it does have its own like blast ability as well, because it's a craft to, as you're going through space, there's debris, and so it would blast it out of the way and keep going. So it's similar to mine, not as strong, but if one of you can man it, then that would also help do the same thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we want the blast to go off from it, because I feel like Mal's going to stay on top of it, but even just the energy of that pushing up and then Mal on top of it would be great.
I like. So I think we've kind of come to a teamwork
I
here,
love it.
right? So
I love it.
we have Siren using their mental abilities to provide a cushion to allow for Juan to push up against it. We have Siren's plane being or ship being flown by Wavelength, who's learning how to who's like, okay, pressing buttons, it's making whale noises, like it's, when someone like gets in something, it's like it's just making a bunch of noises while also doing the thing that you're commanding it to do, Siren, and it lets off the pulse as well, so it's almost like a secondary cushion of psychic power. And then standing on top of it is Bullfox Mal, who's coming up and pushing against it as well with Juan. So the way we'll do this is I'll have everyone roll Savior. Everyone's gonna do Savior. I have a 9.
Oof.
We need in total 3 partial successes, like 3 like successes with, or 2 critical successes. Right now we're at 1 partial success.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna all roll Savior.
So 2 more of those are 2 real good ones.
There was an additional +1 available for us to use, so I'm gonna add
You
that
haven't done that
to
yet.
this, because
You
I have
haven't done that
a
yet.
negative
Is-
1.
An additional reuse of an ability that we still have yet to use.
Can I use that, because then I can put my mundane to my savior? I can use the mask ability again. That's only 1 per game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that works for me.
If that's okay. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Take it. Because that
Mhm.
automatically gives us a +3. All right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I rolled a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a 9.
Okay.
And an 8 plus nothing.
Okay. So that is going to be 4 mundane successes, 4 just barely successes. And
Which works, right?
yes, it does work. You guys,
at a cost or something.
it's slowing,
Yeah.
slowing, and you guys are so focused on stopping this thing. And then I think Wavelength, you hear it first. Your ears pick it up even before Juan's, and you hear like the, and you guys all kind of look up and see a small little escape pod just zooming off while you guys are focusing on slowing this thing down. And you guys are able to cradle it back in. You have the help of Juan. You guys are all so powerful and so strong, and you cradle this thing back in. And when you go back, the remnants of the destroyed scepter are gone, as is the villain, because villains are tenacious.
But nobody died. So
But nobody
Come on,
died.
Juan.
And
Good.
I
You
think
had 1 job, Juan. 1 job.
we stopped it. I don't know why you're coming at me like this. I helped you. I thought we were cool now. You guys call me Juan. We're on a first name basis.
Oh, now you like it? I see how it is. Okay.
I don't like anything. I'm so sad. So you guys have landed. I think you've maybe given the hero soul a new lease on his concepts of heroing, and maybe he'll work a little longer until retirement, because there's some pretty cool young pups on the way up. right? And so maybe he can retire if there's heroes who are worthy of taking over. Um, you guys obviously have saved the city. You helped clean up a bit. What does the next 2 weeks look like for you guys?
I was gonna say, I feel like the moment we land, you hear just this little beep 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 beep, and it's like a little pager going off. It's like, oh, okay, I gotta go make dinner.
Oh,
But um, and I think the next
Does
2 weeks for
wavelength go
me,
back to like normal life? Is that what happens?
yeah, I was gonna say,
That's
like, I
brilliant.
think the next 2 weeks for me are pretty much the same, except maybe now that you know who I am, Siren, you can come to the bodega more often and we can try all the different candies and spicy foods and really figure out what you like. So you keep me company at work a little more. But otherwise, life continues for Carolina as much as before.
Mhm.
Formal life goes back to the usual. Also going by the bodega every morning to get their cafecito. But I feel like in true comic book fashion at the end of an issue, where there's like a big reveal before the next one. There's one day in those 2 weeks where Mal comes back home and there's a letter that's been left for them that says, would love to see you again. Love, Mom. And Mal just crunches it up and says, tosses it in a trash and just says, not interested.
Lights the can on fire.
Just for good measure.
Yeah.
I think Ianthe would like realize like I don't know, there's a lot of things that she still has to learn about like humans on Earth and the way that their brain works, whether they're like normal people or like they have powers or whatever. And so I think that during those 2 weeks, she would find Juan again and give him like a proper earful. and and then I think he would have told her about um what is it called, like registering and
Mhm,
becoming a proper hero. It's like, well, if you want someone to save, like, you do it then type of feeling.
mhm.
And so she's like, well, maybe I will, right? Because they clearly can't rely on you. And so she would register as a proper superhero, and then probably have like wavelength like help her out. I think she becomes really good friends with our little sentient robot um after a while, and because she can communicate with it, without like
Yeah.
talking. And so I feel like, speech isn't very natural for the robot either. It's just the pulses and the images and the data. And so I feel like they find some sort of kinship in communicating that way instead. And so she registers and she decides that this world could use a little help. And she's not very keen on going back home, at least not yet. And so, this is as good a place as any to stay for a while because there is something that she can do here and she can do good here and have a positive impact, right? And that makes her happy to feel wanted and needed because that is, that's not something that she got back home. And so, yeah, she probably would be seen more often um, around, and people would start to kind of recognize the little gills and stuff like that.
How good. I think that that's a fantastic ending place, right? We end on a note of heroes or young heroes kind of giving the old generation an earful and then gearing up to be the next generation. We get a bit of information about some of our characters and their possible heritages and the things that may go on in their life. And like I said, maybe Juan sticks around for a little bit longer. And I mean, not for nothing, but his nemesis is still out there, and I'm sure he's plotting away. And it kind of the day almost immediately, like the week almost immediately goes back to normal because once again, as they always do, the heroes have saved the day in Halcyon. It's what happens here. Possibly it shouldn't depend on the hero so much, but they do. And the curtains kind of close on the city. The night buzzes with life as the people who have just gotten out of work and things like that for the following weeks celebrate the return of the hero's soul and his three new sidekicks that saved
Oh,
the day.
no. No.
I'll take it. I'll take
so
it.
No.
so quickly are they pushing a narrative, but so quickly are there like actual reporters who were on the ground that were like, no, he was wearing pajamas. Like, it's this like, no, he hadn't shaved in days. And we wind down, and I would just love to say thank you guys for playing with me. Thank you for letting me DM and GM. I've had so much fun. This was amazing. I've GM'd a lot, and I've GM'd a lot on camera and on like APs, but I've never GM'd live. It was very stressful. I was very excited but nervous.
Oh, you did
You did
amazing.
great.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And thank you, Diversity Saves. This has been amazing. And then we'll go ahead and do a sign off. I'll start us off, and then we'll just kind of pass through, and we can say bye-bye for all of that. Thank you guys again for listening. If you've made it this deep, and if you're watching the rewatch or whatever, thank you guys for the donations. Thank you guys for everything. Diversity Saves is amazing stuff over here, and I really hope that this isn't the end of my working with them. I love this. I would love to do more of this. I love working with you guys. I would love to work with you guys some more. I'll probably message you guys about stuff because I do stuff nonstop. Again, in terms of the stuff I do nonstop, I'm Adam Gonzales, he, they. I am on 5 GMs in a trench coat. You can find me at Adam, I believe it's Adam 5 GMs on X. I changed it recently. And then at 5 GMs in a trench coat for all of my stuff, and at 5 GMs official on X. That's the bulk of what I do. I do a lot of, we do an AP series there. It's a great time. But I also do like some Commander and things like that, like Magic the Gathering. You can find me online all over the place doing all kinds of fun stuff. I'll go ahead and pass over to Angie.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Angie, they, them pronouns. You can find me at Agonthetic on the internet. I have a website, agonthetic.com, where you can see my art because I also do digital art as well as my TTRPG reel. And you can find me every Sunday night. Wow, I'm blurring. It is late. Every Sunday night over on Tales Archived at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I play in Known Realms Tolesh, our ongoing D&D 5e campaign. Episode 83 is going to be tomorrow. Very exciting. And yeah, future stuff in the future that I cannot quite announce yet, but I'm very excited to share. So stick around. I'm gonna popcorn it over to Yuri.
All right. So once again, hello everybody. I played your otherworldly Siren Ianthe on this wonderful game of masks for Diversity Saves. You guys can go ahead and find me at Yuri and the Beast, absolutely everywhere. Places I'm going to be soon. Like I said, I just became the marketing director for Tabletop Tail Spinners. So you're going to be seeing a lot of me on that channel. You're going to get sick of me. But coming up, a lot of pre-recorded stuff that I can't really say yet. So definitely keep an eye on my threads, and I will be posting all of those announcements on there. But we do have a couple of things. I will be on Twisted Fates in their Viacin game. I'm also going to be with Records of the Realms, Girls Run These Worlds. And we are coming back to Philly by Night with Ain't Got Crit. So if you've been following that, it's, after some hiatus, we're coming back in the first week of October, and it's going to be lots of fun getting to be a bitchy vampire again, the complete opposite of Ianthe. So go see the other side of the coin, because I'm not
mean in my real life, but sometimes it's just good to like get it out there. You know what I mean? um, as well as some Hampod games and something that just started up. It is a huge, huge project over at Somebody's Heroes. We are 3 tables running in the same world. It is amazing. There is custom music and art and so many things that are going into this. We are going to start with a vignette for all of the characters so you can get to know them before the first episode. And I think the first vignette just released either a day or 2 ago. So Somebody's Here it's the beginning of the story. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be big, lots of pizzazz. So definitely go and check that out. And I will be a character there, a crazy kind of scientist, like our dear villain in this game. And so it'll be lots of fun. Again, thank you to Diversity Saves for having me and for this wonderful game. It was lots and lots of fun. And I'll go over and popcorn it to, I believe, Heather.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for watching the stream, and thank you to everybody here for playing with me. This is my first experience of doing anything like this, and it was an absolute joy. So you can find me at Worlds for All on all socials, X, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, all of that. Because I am the founder, I didn't really say this before, but I'm the founder of Worlds for All LLC, and we run creative events specializing in tabletop role-playing facilitation, but really with a focus on creating safer and more inclusive spaces for everyone across all spectrums of diversity, which is why I'm so grateful to be as part of this, and I hope to be part of many, many more. So yeah, check us out. We run in-person games. I'm also on Start Playing though, so you can do virtual games with me. And yeah, just thank you so much. This was a wonderful night. Throw it back to Adam. Take us out, I guess.
Yeah, it's back to me. Thank you guys again. This has been a great time.
How do we end?
Come watch more stuff over here and come watch all of us.
Yeah.